35. Black couples who came out as lesbians that shocked Hollywood, some of them you wouldn't expect. They hid in plain sight, award-winning stars, cultural icons, and quiet revolutionaries, all living under the radar in relationships that would one day shock the world. From surprise wedding reveals to red carpet debuts that left Hollywood speechless, these 35 black couples redefined love identity and visibility in ways no one saw coming. Some were quietly building legacies. Others sparked national conversations. But all of them challenged what the world thought it knew. Are you ready to uncover the truth behind the headlines? Hit that like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Legends of Black Excellence is about to take you there. Niecy Nash and Jessica Betts. When Niecy Nash announced her marriage to singer-songwriter Jessica Betts in August 2020, the world gasped, not because the union lacked love or authenticity, but because it boldly defied public assumptions. Known for her comedic brilliance and emotional range in roles from Reno 911 to Claus Nash, had only been romantically linked to men prior to the announcement. Her surprise Instagram post revealing her wedding in a sleek white gown beside Betts in a cream-colored suit instantly made headlines and social media history. Jessica Betts, though perhaps less widely known at the time, brought her own legacy to the partnership. A soulful artist and winner of the Road to Stardom with Missy Elliott in 2005, Betts had built a following for her stirring vocals and emotional honesty in her music. Her collaborations with artists like K. Michelle, as well as her independent releases, earned her respect within the industry. Despite her talent, Betts had largely remained under the radar until her union with Nash propelled her into mainstream visibility. What set their relationship apart wasn't just the shock factor, it was the way they chose to narrate it. Niecy Nash refused to label herself or her journey. In multiple interviews, she emphasized that she hadn't come out, but had simply fallen in love with a person who happened to be a woman. Her declaration, "I love who I love," became a rallying cry for those rejecting restrictive binaries and outdated definitions of sexuality. Nash didn't feel the need to adopt a new label, and that refusal to conform became a powerful statement about personal freedom and fluidity. Their romance had deep roots. Before they became a couple, Betts and Nash had nurtured a strong friendship grounded in artistic respect and emotional support. That connection eventually blossomed into something more, evolving naturally over time. For Nash, who had experienced divorce and heartbreak, the relationship marked a turning point, one grounded in clarity, joy, and empowerment. The wedding itself, held privately but shared publicly, was a celebration of love on their own terms. Their announcement was met with an outpouring of support, especially from queer Black fans who had long yearned to see themselves reflected in mainstream narratives. In an industry where LGBTQ+ relationships, particularly those involving Black women, are often erased or sidelined, their love story became a beacon of visibility and pride. Since their marriage, the pair has remained vocal about the importance of representation, choosing to share glimpses of their life without sacrificing privacy. Whether it's Betts serenading Nash in intimate social media videos or Nash praising her wife during interviews, the two continue to model a partnership built on mutual respect, joy, and radical honesty. Niecy Nash and Jessica Betts didn't just fall in love. They shattered expectations, expanded the public's understanding of love and identity, and left an enduring impact on Hollywood's portrayal of Black queer relationships. Their union is more than romance. It is a bold assertion of freedom, self-discovery, and the beauty of living without apology. Jason Bolden and Adair Curtis. Jason Bolden and Adair Curtis represent the epitome of synergy between personal love and professional brilliance. For over a decade, this dynamic duo has seamlessly blended romance, creativity, and entrepreneurship, making them one of Hollywood's most stylish and influential same-gender relationships. Jason Bolden discovered his calling early, mastering transformative styling for celebrities like Taraji P. Henson, Issa Rae, and Yara Shahidi. His fearless flair for integrating bold statements with polished elegance fueled his rise. Yet Jason's ambitions extended beyond wardrobes. He co-founded JSN Studio alongside his partner to build an empire crossing visual design and fashion. Adair Curtis, Jason's lifelong partner, serves as both life partner and strategic creative director. Trained in interior architecture and design strategy, Adair brings an impeccable eye for space balance and narrative. Together, they craft holistic aesthetics, whether curating a red carpet ensemble or redesigning a luxury living room. Their synergy sparked the Netflix series Styling Hollywood, premiering in March 2020, which chronicles their professional hustle, creative vision, and deeply rooted partnership. In each episode of Styling Hollywood, viewers witness the couple's evolving business and their unwavering affection. From avant-garde looks to family milestones, including their legal marriage in 2012 and the birth of twins via surrogate, their story moves beyond glamour to highlight real-life dynamics, collaboration, friction, empathy, and growth. Their genuine affection resonated profoundly with audiences hungry for emotionally rich portrayals of LGBTQ+ relationships, especially those centered on Black joy and excellence. Their influence stretches far beyond Netflix. Industry insiders describe Jason and Adair as trendsetters, not just in fashion and design, but also in holistic entrepreneurship. They have been featured in major publications like the New York Times, Vogue, and The Guardian, advocating for LGBTQ+ representation, gender fluidity, and body positivity. Their work encourages clients to embrace authenticity and experiment with identity through style and environment. What makes them uniquely compelling is their balance of ambition and vulnerability. Jason openly shares his insecurities, career fatigue, emotional burnout, and family expectations, while Adair supports him and manages their expanding creative brand. Their transparent dialogue offers fans meaningful insight into maintaining equity in a relationship while building a joint business. The pair's ability to address mental health boundaries and self-care continues to normalize emotionally intelligent partnerships, especially among queer couples of color. Beyond design, Jason and Adair have used their platform to nurture community. They are deeply committed to mentorship, amplifying emerging Black designers and stylists. Through JSN Studio, they frequently offer internships, educational workshops, and one-on-one guidance. They also advocate for health and wellness in Black communities and uplift LGBTQ+ youth through speaking engagements and donations to equity-based causes. Jason Bolden and Adair Curtis illustrate how love and vision can merge into a powerful force for cultural transformation. They've not only built wardrobes and interiors, they've crafted a narrative around what it means to thrive as a Black queer couple in Hollywood. Their story redefines success as interwoven creativity and connection where one enhances the other. In an industry that still stereotypes, Jason and Adair continue to rewrite the script, showing deeply that authenticity, dedication, and public vulnerability can forge a legacy far beyond fame. Their union feels like a manifesto style, with substance, partnership with purpose, and visibility with heart. Debrat and Jessica Dupart, Judy. Few power couples in entertainment blend fearless artistry with entrepreneurial flair, quite like Shantae Debrat Harris and beauty mogul Jessica Judy Dupart. Their romance forced Hollywood and the hip-hop world to redefine assumptions about love, sexuality, and success within the Black community. Debrat came roaring onto the scene in the early 90s, quickly establishing herself as the first solo female rap artist to earn platinum status with her debut album, Defied. With her sharp flows and unapologetic persona, she shattered stereotypes while setting a blueprint for female rappers to come. Yet behind the stage persona lay a fiercely private individual who shielded her personal life from prying eyes. Enter Jessica Dupart New Orleans, born self-made CEO of Kaleidoscope Hair Products. Judy turned a modest street vendor venture into an award-winning beauty empire by passionately championing textured, curly, and natural hair care for Black women. As her brand grew, so did her reputation, not just as an entrepreneur, but as an icon of Black beauty pride and ownership. Their worlds collided in a moment that felt destined, a mutual respect rooted in admiration for each other's grit and creative fire. What began as a friendship evolved into something deeper. They aligned over shared values, authenticity, independence, and an unyielding belief in uplifting Black voices through unapologetic expression. Their confidentiality was intentional. Both women, already icons, recognized the weight of their union. But in 2022, they stood before family and friends in a celebration that was nothing short of electric. Their wedding ceremony, presented in breathtaking images and authentic emotion, anciently blended hip-hop culture, entrepreneurial triumph, and unapologetic Black queer love. That day, they publicly shattered the silence, rewriting what relationship milestones look like for high-flying Black lesbian couples. What truly defines their partnership is the rhythm they share in creativity, business, and soul. Debrat supports Judy's mission by celebrating Kaleidoscope Hair's authentic messaging and empowerment-driven initiatives. Judy, in turn, steeps Debrat's enduring influence into every extension of her beauty brand. Their collaboration is both symbolic and strategic, fashioning influence that's as inclusive as it is powerful. Their love radiates not just in glamorous photos, but in a dynamic where respect for independence is paramount. Both women speak candidly about mental health, body confidence, and the pressures of public life, creating a space where vulnerability is embraced, not shamed. They encourage one another personally and professionally to grow, heal, and soar. Together, they are rewriting definitions. Success isn't just chart-topping singles or million-dollar brands, it's presence, purpose, and pride. In a society quick to tokenize or minimize Black queer joy, Debrat and Judy stand as undeniable proof that love, power, and achievement can flourish unapologetically. Their union isn't just a wedding, it's a movement. They inspire future generations of Black LGBTQ+ entrepreneurs, artists, and lovers to claim space, tell truth, and live boldly. Debrat and Jessica Dupart Judy are rewriting rules, and as they redefine legacy, one powerful photo song and product at a time, the world is watching, learning, and celebrating. Lena Waithe and Alana Mayo. Lena Waithe and Alana Mayo represent a rare and powerful convergence of ambition, intellect, and emotional depth. An alliance that redefined what it means to be a Black queer couple in the entertainment world. Their relationship emerged as a beacon of purposeful partnership, grounded in mutual respect, creative alignment, and shared passion for uplifting marginalized voices. Lena Waithe first captured public consciousness with her breakthrough script for Netflix's Master of None, which earned her the Emmy for Outstanding Writing in a Comedy Series. That award marked a historic milestone. She became the first Black woman to win in that category. What followed was a steady ascent, a versatile career spanning producing, acting, and activism with high-profile contributions to Queen and Slim the Chi and her own production company, Hillman Grad. Through these endeavors, Waithe has intentionally centered stories about LGBTQ+ identities, racial justice, and the everyday beauty of Black life. Alana Mayo carved her own path behind the scenes. As a sharp-witted studio executive at Paramount Pictures and later at Warner Brothers, she developed creative strategies for films featuring diverse perspectives. Known for her skill in nurturing unconventional stories, Mayo played an influential role in moving projects that amplify underrepresented voices. Her rare combination of corporate savvy and creative instinct made her a formidable force, one well-suited to partner with someone like Waithe. Their bond began in professional circles, grounded in conversations about storytelling equity and the kind of industry they wanted to build from within. Shared ambitions and mutual admiration naturally deepened their connection. They chose to marry in 2019 within a private ceremony, choosing to center love, respect, and discretion rather than spectacle. Though their marriage ended in 2020, their love legacy remains significant. Never fans of performative declarations, the two handled their separation with grace, publicly affirming ongoing respect and collaboration while prioritizing authenticity over illusion. Their decision to remain supportive of each other's work underscored the depth of their bond beyond romantic roles. Together, Waithe and Mayo demonstrated that Black queer love in Hollywood doesn't require lavish displays. It thrives in partnership intention and creative synergy. Their time together helped dismantle outdated narratives. Queer couples aren't just romantic side characters. They are central to the cultural fabric of film and television. Even after parting ways, both continue to shape narratives that matter. Waithe's production ventures persist in spotlighting marginalized voices, while Mayo's executive roles amplify inclusive talent and storytelling from the studio sphere. Though their paths have diverged, the values embedded in their relationship, authenticity, community, and vision remain evident in their individual work. In a landscape where queer Black love stories are often erased or sidelined, Lena Waithe and Alana Mayo's partnership proved that such relationships can exist with elegance, integrity, and transformative impact. Their union and even its conclusion offered a model of how love, partnership, and creative purpose can coexist. They remain quiet but influential catalysts, redefining both Hollywood's heart and its narratives through compassion, courage, and shared progress. Monica Carter and Therese Michel. Monica Carter and Therese Michel rewrote the narrative of Black queer love by daring to cherish their bond on national television, forever changing the landscape of representation for lesbian couples of color. Both women brought distinct talents, strong personalities, and unwavering resolve to their union, melding artistry and advocacy into a relationship as expressive as it was intimate. Monica Carter first captured public attention as a powerhouse vocalist with her 1998 R&B hit Touch It, which soared into the top 10 on Billboard charts. With her soul-stirring voice and captivating stage presence, she became an emblem of 1990s R&B artistry. Yet behind the spotlight, Carter's personal life remained tightly guarded, navigating both the pressures of the music industry and the weight of cultural expectations. Many knew her as a performer, but few knew her as a woman who loved in secret away from public scrutiny. Enter Therese Michel, a social advocate and educator whose quiet strength balanced Carter's dynamic public image. A former teacher with an unwavering belief in community uplift and empowerment, Michel was used to lifting others, whether in a classroom or through her work in mental health and wellness initiatives. Their love story began in private spaces through shared glances, late-night conversations, and the gentle patience of a bond grounded in respect and trust. Their decision to marry on camera during the OWN series R&B Divas, Monica and Friends marked a watershed moment. The ceremony was not just a televised spectacle, it was a bold statement. As two Black women publicly affirmed their love, they dismantled stereotypes and challenged conservative notions about family, community, and womanhood. Their nuptials were joyful, emotional, and real, no staged glamour, just two people committing to each other under the weight of public attention. This moment represented more than romance, it represented courage. Their union highlighted family dynamics in all their complexity. Carter, born into Southern Christian traditions, often spoke about reconciling her upbringing with her truth. Michel's presence offered calm strength as Carter navigated spiritual, familial, and societal tensions. Their choice to walk down the aisle together on live television shined a light on the intersections of identity, race, spirituality, sexuality, and authenticity coexisting in real time. Though their marriage eventually ended, their shared legacy remains profound. Their televised ceremony became a reference point for Black queer visibility, referenced in media articles, LGBTQ+ history forums, and conversations about representation. They lit a path for future LGBTQ+ women of color, showing that vows don't have to be hidden to be valid, and visibility can be a catalyst for greater acceptance. What makes Monica and Therese's story especially compelling is how intentional they were in their messaging. Rather than center spectacle, they embraced intimacy and truth. They spoke openly about how societal judgment weighed on them and how support from family or fans felt both revolutionary and relieving. They shared the rising joy of acceptance alongside the personal tears of exposure. It was real love in a system that often demands perfection. Their relationship inspired countless fans. For many young queer black women, seeing their wedding broadcast nationally offered validation when there was little elsewhere. Carter and Michelle weren't simply celebrities, they became icons of possibility, evidence that love can be celebrated without apology or erasure. In the years since, each woman has remained committed to uplift. Carter continues her music career while supporting LGBTQ+ youth, and Michelle works behind the scenes in education and wellness. Together, even apart, they maintain a public posture of resilience and grace. Monica Carter and Therese Michelle didn't just get married, they inspired a movement. With every heartfelt moment captured on screen, they invited viewers into their world, their choices, and their truth. In doing so, they etched their names into the story of queer representation. Two black lesbian women whose vows echoed far beyond a television studio, reminding everyone that love, righteous, loud, and otherwise, is worth seeing and celebrating. Anthony Wayne and Kendrell Bowman. Anthony Wayne and Kendrell Bowman stand as one of the most electrifying couples in today's performing arts landscape. Two creative forces whose union pulses with charisma, craftsmanship, and a mission to uplift black queer artistry. Their bond, both personal and professional, fuses everything from stage brilliance to dynamic design, underscoring a narrative of shared purpose that ventures far beyond romantic partnership. Anthony Wayne first rose to fame with his commanding presence in major Broadway productions. His portrayal in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert earned widespread praise for its emotional depth and resilience, while his role in Pippin revealed a performer unafraid to stretch his range. With his gift for storytelling through song movement and personal expression, Wayne built a reputation as a leading light in queer musical theater. Alongside these iconic stage roles, his advocacy for diversity in the arts and mental health awareness further cemented his influence beyond the footlights. Kendrell Bowman complements Wayne with a compelling creative voice of his own. As a stylist, image consultant, and interior designer, Bowman has worked behind the scenes to craft visual narratives, shaping wardrobes, sets, and staging for artists and performers. His aesthetic sensibility resonates with elegance, flair, and intentional storytelling through environment. Whether designing a stage space that supports a narrative or selecting clothing that reflects identity, Bowman brings a thoughtful harmony to both art and life. Together, their partnership is marked by artistry, authenticity, and mutual uplift. They officially met in creative circles where Wayne's theatrical charisma intersected with Bowman's visual imagination. Their chemistry was immediate, two artists who speak the same creative language yet bring distinct strengths to the table. As collaborators, they conceived Anthony Ken LLC, a production company that centers black queer narratives across musical theater dance projects and multimedia installations. Their first major undertaking, Mighty Real, a fabulous Sylvester musical, pays tribute to the disco icon Sylvester, whose legacy as a queer black performer paved the way for artists like Wayne and Bowman themselves. Mighty Real received critical acclaim for capturing the exuberance, pain, and liberation of queer culture in the 1970s and 80s, prompting cultural retrospection around visibility, identity, and legacy. Through this work, Wayne and Bowman highlight not only the life of an icon, but also the ongoing importance of storytelling for queer lives. The musical speaks loudly. Art shapes cultural memory, and those memories shape self-worth in communities often excluded from mainstream narratives. Their influence extends beyond craft into community building. The couple frequently mentors young artists of color, hosts workshops on visual identity and stage presence, and advocates for equitable inclusion in entertainment spaces. Their message, unapologetically rooted in black queer excellence, reverberates across college campuses, creative collectives, and advocacy groups. With Wayne's performance expertise and Bowman's design acumen, they model how complementary talents can forge meaningful collaboration and inspire others to pursue their authentic visions. Their romantic life is equally vibrant. Photos from behind the curtain show them sharing celebratory moments at dress rehearsals, cheering each other on from backstage, and co-hosting intimate salons centered on music, art, and dialogue. They've celebrated engagements surrounded by friends, fellow artists, and chosen family, reinforcing a sense of community resilience. Their love reflects synergy. Two individuals dreaming together, challenging each other to grow and embracing the unconventional paths that come with being creative Black queer professionals. Anthony Wayne and Kendrell Bowman's story is one of unity. Unity in purpose, creativity, and truth. They remind us that great artistry thrives in partnership, that romance can be a wellspring of invention, and that visibility can shape transformation. Their journey continues to shape stages, affirm identities, and uplift voices that deserve to be heard. In an industry too often divided, Anthony and Kendrell offer a powerful vision. Black queer brilliance is not just worthy of the spotlight, it defines it. Queen Latifah and Ebony Nichols. Lifting veils off society's expectations. Queen Latifah and Ebony Nichols demonstrate how devotion, family, and discretion can thrive within the entertainment sphere without seeking constant recognition. Their partnership, woven together over many years, offers a masterclass in how public figures can balance visibility and privacy, forging an enduring foundation grounded in respect and mutual admiration. Queen Latifah, born Dana Elaine Owens, has wielded her multi-hyphenate talents since the late 1980s, evolving from rapper to actress to Academy Award-nominated producer. Her groundbreaking presence in hip-hop and her magnetic turns in films such as Chicago and Hairspray solidified her as a Black cultural icon. Over time, she championed equitable representation for women and LGBTQ+ creators, earning respect for speaking her truth with measured grace. Opposite Latifah, Ebony Nichols brings deliberate wisdom and creative depth. As a celebrated choreographer, Nichols has shaped performances for major television specials, award shows, and music videos, often outside the limelight, yet with unmistakable impact. Her artistry lies in understanding how bodies move stories forward. Her reputation thrives on professionalism and a behind-the-scenes elegance that leaves room for interpretation. The pair's bond blossomed in this kind of quiet ecosystem where shared values and steady support thrived beneath the shimmer of red carpets. Their relationship, long shielded from the media, became more visibly known around 2018 to 2019 through protective but affectionate gestures, attending family milestones together, holiday gatherings, and rare public appearances that confirmed a commitment built over years, not headlines. Their love story reflects the strength in silence. They've deliberately safeguarded their moments of togetherness, choosing family dinners, backyard laughter, and creative time over high-profile PDA. Yet glimpses of Nichols' influence emerge through Latifah's interviews, where she acknowledges the stabilizing force at home, a grounding partner whose strength echoes through her own achievements. Latifah has described Nichols as the person who keeps me laughing and whose presence gives shape to her piece. In 2018, reports began circulating that the couple was raising twins together. They welcomed children via in vitro fertilization, though neither woman officially confirmed the news, another testament to their preference for personal sanctuary over public spectacle. Still, their decision to build a family adds nuance to conversations around queer parenting, showing that enduring love doesn't need extravagant announcements. Their collective efforts subtly advance representation. Latifah occasionally dedicates acceptance speeches to LGBTQIA+ communities, and Nichols, though quieter, often stands beside her partner at advocacy events, sometimes supporting fundraising initiatives or mentoring young queer artists. Together, they endorse empowerment without spectacle. Their mutual life draws no dramatic headlines, but it reshapes norms. They embody a stability rooted in emotional safety, a legacy beyond glitzy covers, two Black queer women nurturing a family through love, laughter, and layered career responsibilities. In Hollywood's often chaotic spotlight, Queen Latifah and Ebony Nichols radiate a different kind of glow, gentle, consistent, unflashy, yet profoundly authentic. Their presence reminds us that powerful relationships don't require constant recognition. They require honest communication, shared purpose, and the courage to create private worlds within public roles. Theirs is a partnership that stands as a living affirmation. Intimacy, union, and familial love can flourish beautifully off-screen even as the world watches. As Latifah continues to evolve creatively and Nichols continues uplifting others through dance and collaboration, their partnership remains a testament to authenticity, respect, and the art of loving quietly and courageously. Brittney Griner and Cherelle Griner. Brittney and Cherelle Griner's journey together embodies resilience and unwavering love, one forged under extraordinary strains, illuminated by global empathy and anchored by grace. Their bond was first kindled in college at Baylor University, where their shared passion for basketball and personal connection blossomed into a lifelong partnership. Brittney, a 6'9" center whose athletic prowess has transformed women's basketball, became a two-time Olympic gold medalist, a WNBA champion, and one of the most dominant centers of her generation. Her unique combination of agility, shot-blocking ability, and court vision inspired a generation of female athletes, making her an international icon in sport and a symbol of Black excellence in athletics. Cherelle, equally accomplished, came into the limelight through her role as a dedicated professional partner and advocate, quiet yet powerful. She built a career rooted in compassion and strategy, supporting Brittney, and ultimately stepping into the public arena during crisis. When Brittney was detained overseas in early 2022, Cherelle's voice became the world's tirelessly combating misinformation and seeking justice. Her appearance at press conferences, interviews with major news outlets, and heartfelt pleas to both government officials and the public humanized the entire ordeal, turning political tension into a rallying cry for freedom and love. Their love story officially converged in 2019 when they tied the knot in a joyful but intimate ceremony. By that moment, they had already been childhood sweethearts, navigating the triumphs and demands of sport travel and public scrutiny. Their marriage came after a shared journey through college fame, professional achievement, and shaping a life together beyond Brittney's athletic accolades. When Brittney was unexpectedly detained abroad, Cherelle assumed a leadership role that transcended personal anguish. She embarked on a global campaign, leveraging every platform available from local rallies to international media to shed light on the injustice. Her unwavering determination reached the White House, international human rights organizations, and the hearts of supporters worldwide. This period of separation was the most painful chapter in their partnership, yet Cherelle remained steadfast, showing love that defied distance and fear. In a poignant reunion following Brittney's release, they embraced in what felt like an event for the whole planet, yet for them, it was a tender homecoming. Their embrace, captured in emotional images and interviews, spoke to the depth of commitment and endurance in their marriage. Now reunited, they continue to support each other through post-traumatic healing, reintegration, and advocacy. The ordeal reshaped their mission while Brittney returned to basketball. She also became an international advocate for athletes' rights and global awareness. Cherelle became an emblem of steadfast love, diplomatic action, and the ordinary power of standing by someone during their darkest hours. Their relationship challenges common narratives. It's not just about fame or sports, it's about the generosity of one soul stepping forward when the world fell silent. It's about an everyday hero, the partner who held fort, waged campaigns, navigated headlines, and redefined what it means to fight for someone you love. Brittney and Cherelle's marriage embodies courage, endurance, and grace under extreme pressure. When their world fractured, they didn't retreat, they rallied. Their relationship remains a beacon for all who believe that marriage is not merely a personal journey, but a commitment that can withstand injustice, dissolve silence, and call the world's attention back to justice, dignity, and profound love. Shaun T and Scott Blocker. Shaun T and Scott Blocker's love story is an inspiring narrative of shared passion, parenting triumphs, and radical authenticity. Both men have embraced life and family unapologetically, and they've done it while transforming global wellness culture. Shaun T, best known as the creator of viral fitness programs such as Insanity T25 and Transform 20, has motivated millions worldwide with his dynamic energy and fearless positivity. As a black queer man, he broke barriers in an industry otherwise dominated by straight white male trainers. Shaun's vibrant persona, combined with his deep care for mental and emotional wellness, endowed his content with more than just physical sweat. It delivered empowerment. Scott Blocker, whose background includes modeling and athletics, complements Shaun with steady calm and direction. While less visible in front of the camera, Scott has been an equal anchor, managing their home, supporting Shaun's endeavors, and offering emotional and logistical balance that underpins their partnership. His quiet strength has shaped their family's foundation and their joint brand's resilience. Their relationship began in 2012. Though neither has spotlighted their romantic journey publicly, their openness about family life and shared values has resonated deeply. Their marriage in 2012 marked the start of a life filled with visibility, love, and alignment of purpose. Over the years, they've cultivated a warm, genuine online presence, showing off date nights, cozy at-home workouts, and heartwarming celebrations of anniversaries. One of the most significant milestones arrived in 2017 when Shaun and Scott welcomed twin sons via surrogacy. Their announcement, shared on social media, was met with widespread positivity from longtime fans who had followed Shaun's fitness journey, and from LGBTQ+ communities celebrating new narratives around queer parenthood. They broke stereotypes with every diaper change, school photo post, and family vacation picture. Their journey has not only affirmed their love but also extended into greater advocacy. Shaun frequently discusses mental health, body image, and the importance of self-love in communities of color, especially among queer individuals who may feel overlooked. Scott, too, has become a beacon for the power of nurture, advocating for parental presence and emotional literacy in queer families. Together, they've contributed to discussions about fatherhood that reject old binaries and reimagine what masculinity can look like. Professionally, the couple operate a thriving wellness-based brand. Shaun's programs continue to go viral, and their joint content blending workouts, cooking tips, parenting moments, and motivational messages has attracted an audience hungry for realness, authenticity, and hope. They curate a vision where fitness is not just aesthetic, but mental, spiritual, relational, and ultimately joyful. Their approach to social media is intentional and liberating. They share not just sweaty routines, but also late-night tears, school drop-off jitters, and smiles over small everyday wins. Their visibility has introduced countless young black queer individuals and parents to a radically inclusive model of family life, one rooted in empathy, authenticity, and communal uplift. What makes Shaun T and Scott Blocker's story so compelling isn't celebrity or spectacle. It's the everyday depth of their partnership. It's the sight of two men supporting each other, raising children, fostering confidence, and redefining norms around fatherhood, health, and queer identity. At their core, their union is a testament to freedom. The freedom to move, to love, to parent, and to thrive. Shaun and Scott show that strength can be tender, that discipline can include dancing in the living room, and that love is not defined by its form, but by its foundation. In a world craving genuine representation, Shaun T and Scott Blocker stand tall. Their marriage, family, and message are more than cultural talking points. They are invitations to others to move boldly, parent meaningfully, and love unapologetically. Wanda Sykes and Alex Niedbalski. Wanda Sykes and Alex Niedbalski stand as a powerful testament to the beauty of love woven quietly through humor, family, and cultural exchange. Their enduring bond, rooted in respect and laughter, defies expectations and highlights the richness of understated affection amidst public acclaim. Wanda Sykes, a comedic powerhouse, has commanded attention since her rise in stand-up comedy during the early 1990s. Her razor-sharp wit, fearless commentary, and willingness to tackle societal issues from politics to LGBTQ+ rights have earned her numerous accolades, including multiple Emmy Awards. Whether delivering iconic monologues or headlining Netflix specials like Not Normal and I'm an Entertainer, Sykes has never shied away from embracing her identity and using her platform to advocate for change. Her humor resonates because it is grounded in lived truths, celebrating Black excellence while challenging systemic inequities. Complementing Wanda's fearless energy is Alex Nidbalski, a French entrepreneur who brings quiet strength, discipline, and cross-cultural elegance to their partnership. A business leader at a design firm in Europe before transitioning into lifestyle and wellness ventures in the US, Alex maintains a private profile, choosing to nurture their shared life behind the scenes. His calm presence provides grounding, enabling Wanda to thrive professionally and personally. Their paths converged in 2004 during a chance meeting aboard a ferry to Martha's Vineyard, a connection that blossomed over long conversations, shared humor, and mutual curiosity about each other's backgrounds. Their engagement soon followed, and in 2008 they married in a relatively low-key ceremony, distinct from Hollywood spectacle yet intimate and profound. That same year, Sykes publicly came out as gay, aligning her personal truth with her professional persona, and adopting a lifestyle that mirrored her values of authenticity. Their life together could not be more relatable. Outside of glitzy events, they enjoy moments of quiet love, bedroom debates, scripted cooking experiments, and laughter-filled vacations. They're also devoted parents to twin boys whom they welcomed via adoption. While the children's lives remain wonderfully private, these milestones reflect a deeply rooted family foundation built on devotion and delight. As advocates, Sykes and Niedbalski model unity in action. Wanda regularly references Alex in interviews as her sounding board and partner in decisions, while she occasionally brings him to charity fundraisers, supportive red carpet moments, and philanthropic events. Their joint support for causes like LGBTQ+ rights, immigrant communities, and arts education allows their combined influence to ripple outward, demonstrating that visibility can be impactful even without constant public exposure. What makes their partnership so compelling is its balance. Wanda's outspoken energy contrasts with Alex's silent consistency, but together they form a complete, harmonious unit. Their love story reveals the power of shared values, emotional security, and mutual support. In the spotlight, they shine light on inclusion. In the quiet of home, they celebrate one another's strengths. In both realms, they embody mature, modern queer love. In an era often defined by spectacle, Wanda Sykes and Alex Nidbalski offer a masterclass in ordinary magic. They remind the world that love doesn't always come wrapped in red carpet drama. It often thrives in everyday communion, thoughtful gestures, and laughter shared across cultures. Their partnership continues to inspire, highlighting that comedy, creativity, and calm resolve can coexist and flourish in one beautiful, unflashy union. Samira Wiley and Lauren Morelli. When Netflix sensation Orange is the New Black OITNB premiered, it captivated audiences with a storyline that eventually mirrored real-life Samira Wiley. The actress portraying Pussy Washington stood alongside Lauren Morelli, the groundbreaking writer behind the series. Both women were integral to OITNB's success, yet their most compelling narrative became the story of each other. Samira Wiley first garnered acclaim for embodying Pussy, an effervescent, intelligent, and genuinely free-spirited character whose on-screen death sparked international conversations around race policing and systemic injustice. Wiley's presence radiated strength, warmth, and vulnerability. Off-camera, she has been a champion for authenticity, LGBTQ+ representation, and mental health awareness. Since OITNB, she has furthered her impact with award-winning performances in The Handmaid's Tale and animated roles in The Simpsons, all the while advocating for equal opportunity and Black queer visibility in entertainment. Lauren Morelli started her career writing for OITNB. Initially married to a man, Morelli came to the pivotal realization during the show's second season that she identified as queer. Her courage to embrace authenticity inspired one of the series' most emotionally resonant storylines. She drew deeply from personal experience when writing the character of Litchfield inmate Piper Chapman's relationship arc, mirroring her own evolution in understanding love beyond societal expectations. Their paths crossed in 2012. Samira then engaged to a man was on screen as Lauren began grappling with her identity. As time progressed, their professional connection blossomed into emotional intimacy, rooted in companionship, creativity, and vulnerability. Both women often cite the safety of collaborative space writers' rooms, scene rehearsals, character deep dives as essential grounds for developing mutual trust, honesty, and affection. By 2017, their love story entered a new chapter. The couple exchanged vows during an intimate Vermont ceremony that celebrated community creativity and chosen family. Rather than pulling focus, the wedding reflected their mutual values: discretion with intention, intimacy without spectacle. The following year, they welcomed their daughter, Lou Dallas Morelli. Parenthood marked an evolution that their relationship was uniquely equipped to sustain. With Wiley's gentleness and Morelli's introspective storytelling, they grew a family defined by emotional health, self-awareness, and radical honesty. Their posts, which subtly share glimpses of everyday life, picnics in autumn leaves, quiet bedtime rituals, tears of growth, have resonated deeply with communities craving multidimensional queer family stories. Within the public eye, they've used their platforms to advocate for visibility, inclusion, and narratives that honor intersectionality. Wiley occasionally speaks emotionally about the necessity of trans inclusion in casting, while Morelli mentors emerging writers from marginalized backgrounds. They host salon-style panels on storytelling as transformation and are vocal in support of reproductive justice and mental wellness. Their partnership showcases how creative collaboration can nurture mutual growth. They balance one another with grace. Wiley anchors with heartfelt presence, while Morelli translates their shared intentions into narrative clarity, whether on screen or in family dialogue. Notably, their love evolved without tabloids. It was not romance for ratings. It was real-life inspiring art and vice versa. Their transition from co-workers to partners, then parents, caused cultural ripples. Black queer mothers, writers, and performers saw themselves reflected in nuanced roles, not caricatures. Today, Samira Wiley and Lauren Morelli continue to build a legacy rooted in creativity, family, and influence. They demonstrate that identity can shift, love can arrive unexpectedly, and partnership can flourish amid creative labor. In each step from script revisions to lullabies, they redefine success as a union of purpose, integrity, and love. Their theory of success cannot be encapsulated in awards alone. It is a life lived with intention, a family built in honesty, and a career pursued with devotion to self and community. Their story continues to resonate as a testament. When two storytellers fall in love with each other, the resulting narrative becomes richer, braver, and more deeply human. Billy Porter and Adam Smith. Billy Porter and Adam Smith embody an extraordinary fusion of theatrical bravado and understated solidarity, one capturing headlines, the other anchoring their shared journey with quiet conviction. Together, they illustrate how love, celebrity, and activism can harmonize with grace and depth. Billy Porter ascended to stardom, with his Tony-winning performance in Kinky Boots redefining Broadway masculinity by bringing extravagant flair and gospel-fueled emotional truth to the role. His red carpet appearances featuring gender-fluid silhouettes and jeweled gowns have shifted cultural conversations around fashion, gender expression, and representation. Porter's life and work are built on radical self-expression. He constantly challenges conformist norms, encouraging Black queer visibility in performance and beyond. By his side stands Adam Smith, a style consultant and boutique owner whose efforts are less public but equally profound. Once a corporate figure in the fashion world, Smith redirected his talents toward fostering confidence in others, eventually partnering with Porter to champion inclusive narratives through wardrobe and branding. Though Smith shuns headlines, those close to him describe a steadying presence, discreet but indispensable, attentive but undemanding. The pair first crossed paths in 2009, finding in one another a balance of spectacle and softness. Their early bond was described as immediate, a shared passion for Black queer joy, and aesthetic freedom, linking someone who lived out loud with someone who preferred creative subtleties. Over the following years, their synergy evolved. Journeys around gospel concerts, studio fittings, family introductions, and spiritual retreats fused their hearts in unspoken understanding. In 2017, Porter and Smith exchanged vows in an intimate ceremony attended by family, friends, and a few deep industry confidants. Rather than produce another headline-catching celebrity wedding, they centered simplicity, selectivity, and spiritual continuity. It was a quiet manifesto that even amid global adulation, love thrives in intentional private storytelling. Their marriage is not a performance, it's partnership. Porter, often traveling to film singing engagements and activist rallies, finds in Smith a sanctuary, someone who handles logistics, checks on mental health, encourages vulnerability, and cares for the rhythms of home. Smith offers a grounded counterbalance to Porter's flamboyant shine, gently reminding him to rest, reflect, and hold still. Many insiders note Adam allows Billy to soar. Together, they've turned their union into an ecosystem of possibility. Smith co-produces projects, advises on creative direction, and ensures wardrobe decisions align with Porter's values. Meanwhile, Porter continues to challenge culture, from starring in Pose to working on Broadway revivals, while amplifying Smith's behind-the-scenes genius. They are active advocates as consistently as they are loving partners. Whether attending LGBTQ+ rights marches, speaking at Black queer town halls, or supporting arts initiatives for marginalized youths, their alliance amplifies representation where it counts. Their influence is both visible and invisible, one dazzling on stage, the other nurturing offstage. But together, their impact is comprehensive. Their marriage stands as an exemplar for queer couples navigating fame. It proves that authenticity doesn't require total transparency, and boundaries can coexist with celebration. Photos of them are not always for press, but when shared, such as a tender backstage embrace, they radiate a truth that exceeds celebrity-enduring love. Today, Billy Porter and Adam Smith remain icons of unity, proof that queer Black excellence can be both luminous and understated, both public-facing and deeply private. Their story teaches that true partnership honors individuality without diminishing it, that love can be fierce and fragile, and that legacy is forged not just by applause, but by everyday devotion. In fashion, theater, and justice, they stand shoulder to shoulder, heart to heart, a star and its compass together in brilliance. RuPaul and George LeBar. RuPaul and George LeBar share a bond that flourishes outside the glare of public image, built on decades of quiet gestures, mutual trust, and the profound understanding that sometimes the deepest love lives beyond the spotlight. RuPaul Charles, the visionary behind RuPaul's Drag Race, revolutionized entertainment with a unique brand of inclusivity and charisma. From supermodel vocal cameos in the 90s to redefining drag performance as a global phenomenon, he has become synonymous with the celebration of self-expression. His work challenged conventions around gender identity and artistry, encouraging countless people to embrace authenticity. Across awards, interviews, and catchphrases, RuPaul maintained a public persona brimming with confidence and camp, but at home he cultivated a quieter center thanks to the influence of someone deeply known, Georges. Georges LeBar, a painter turned rancher, occupies a different world entirely, one shaped by nature's rhythms and rural tranquility. Based in Wyoming, his days flow with artistic reflection, horseback riding, and the steady routines of ranch life. While RuPaul builds legacies under bright lights, George lives alongside mountains and open skies, making room for stillness, thought, and creativity rooted far from the red carpet. Their story began in the mid-90s at a New York City nightclub and culminated in a relationship that has spanned decades, marked by faithfulness and selective openness. They celebrated a private wedding in 2017 after years of intense loyalty. Theirs is a love that honors autonomy, two people whose hearts align even when worlds differ. Though RuPaul travels for momentum and media, George's remains home the anchor unseen, yet deeply felt. Their bond defies expectations. As RuPaul rose to fame, George watched from the hills, never demanding the spotlight, but providing the space RuPaul needed to soar. Their connection thrives in phone calls at dawn, letters handwritten on paper, and the choice to preserve intimacy in a noisy world. For RuPaul, each return to Wyoming is a return to home, to the person who sees beyond stardom, to the man still rooted in dreams and vulnerability. Their love balances stardom with sanctuary. They guard their privacy fiercely, not from secrecy, but from distraction. They once shared that their wedding was held without fanfare, just presence, a promise made in silence, witnessed by close confidants, free from public pressure. This intentional modesty speaks volumes about their values. Love is enough when it's held intentionally. Together, their partnership has nurtured both creative liberation and personal grounding. George's art, once influenced by solitude, now includes themes of kinship and joined life, while RuPaul's work often circles back to core themes of identity and inner home. Though they rarely appear together in media, their union ripples through each other's choices. RuPaul's willingness to honor artistry over market, George's embrace of love that transcends conventional gender or lifestyle. In a world hungry for spectacle, RuPaul and George offer something different, an alliance seasoned with restraint, steadiness, and the simple but extraordinary act of presence. Their love story shines not in headlines, but in the spaces between the late-night silences, shared meals, and morning walks across sprawling land. It teaches that love isn't defined by visibility, but by the constancy of being seen. RuPaul and George exemplify partnership grounded in freedom, a reminder that sometimes the most radical love is the kind that refuses to conform to external scripts. They carry each other through lauds, storms, and stillness, showing the world that true connection can be both iconic and intimately invisible, both enduring and elegantly unshouted. Jana Handy and Kiana Stewart. Jana Handy and Kiana Stewart form a dynamic power duo rooted in history, heritage, creativity, and an unapologetic celebration of Black queer identity. Their partnership intertwines love, entrepreneurship, and cultural preservation in a way that redefines success beyond mainstream metrics, building community legacy and representation. Jana Handy, a Philadelphia native with a background in curation and art history, brings meticulous expertise to her work. Her passion for elevating undertold narratives, especially within Black diasporic stories, led her to co-found BLK MKT Vintage. The project began as a personal mission: collect artifacts that told stories of Black resilience, pride, and creativity, family photos, vintage magazines, mid-century fashion, and ephemera. Handy then turned that private collection into a public learning space, giving historical context to oft-neglected voices and reimagining vintage curation as healing. She sought out letters, advertisements, postcards, all pointing to overlooked contributions of Black people in design, literature, media, and identity. Kiana Stewart, based in Brooklyn, completed the couple's tension between historical awareness and design lineage. With a background in strategic visual storytelling, retail experience, and arts education, Stewart curated the physical and emotional aesthetic of BLKMKT Vintage, turning items into narratively rich retail arrangements, programming artist-led workshops, and designing exhibit-like spaces that feel inclusive. More than merchandising, Stewart created experiences where patrons lingered, discovered, reflected. She remains committed to community uplift, positioning the Vintage Hub as both cultural celebration and economic support for Black artists and makers. Their relationship blossomed through shared conviction. Both women recognized a gap. Queer Black women were rarely centered in Black history narratives or vintage collecting spaces. Together, they first met at a mutual pop-up event and connected over a shared sense of urgency to preserve, to educate, to intervene. As friendship deepened, their bond turned personal, rooted in mutual appreciation for clarity, intentionality, and hope-driven work. They officially launched BLK MKT Vintage in 2021, a multimedia venture uniting retail education and liberation. Their vintage takeover pop-ups in Brooklyn and elsewhere drew keen interest not just from shoppers but from scholars, artists, and activists. People lined up to touch history, flip through Black Woman mag issues from the 70s, read letters penned during the Harlem Renaissance, or linger amidst posters for civil rights events they'd never encountered before. Every piece told a story of Black excellence, memory, visibility, and sometimes love. Their partnership reveals a unique rhythm. Handy seeks out rare artifacts and historical context. Stewart shapes it for present-day engagement, turning content into emotionally compelling environments. Their skills are different but complementary. One archives, one animates. Their shared vision moves beyond retail. They host readings, panel discussions, and community workshops that foster intergenerational conversations. They offer young creatives a safe place to resist erasure and reclaim lineage. As a couple, they champion radical visibility, both beautifully intimate. Personal moments may show them adorning a collaborative collection or sharing bookshop purchase. Their romance is gentle, politicized, deeply rooted in mutual admiration and aligned purpose. They don't operate as solo creators. Their relationship is a shared engine driving both business and impact. Their work has garnered acclaim. Features in the New York Times, Vogue, and Paper magazine praised their curation and community-building ethos. Beyond recognition, BLK MKT Vintage has inspired new definitions. Representation as ancestry, romance as activism, retail as social justice. Handy and Stewart's impact also includes mentorship. They host an annual fellowship for queer Black women interested in archive entrepreneurship or storytelling, creating mentorship cohorts with sponsors online, masterclasses, and access to the vintage collection itself. In a world too quick to commodify Black culture without crediting lineage, this couple builds heritage by hand, repairing gaps, reviving forgotten voices, and claiming ownership of Black queer history. Their relationship is a testament to loving profoundly, visioning boldly, and requiring liberation to be intergenerational. Jana Handy and Kiana Stewart exemplify transformative partnership, one that preserves the past, animates the present, and models how queer Black love can birth legacies. Kalea Copper and Binta Daisy Drame. Kalea Copper and Binta Daisy. Drame's partnership marries elite athleticism with a celebration of heritage, representing a rare and powerful alliance in women's basketball. Their journey, rooted in shared passion for sport and identity, goes far beyond the court. It uplifts culture challenges, norms, and amplifies Black queer representation in athletics. Kalea Copper, a guard-forward hybrid, rose to stardom through sheer determination. After an outstanding collegiate career at Rutgers, she entered the WNBA in 2019 and quickly earned recognition for her energy, defense, and knack for clutch performances. Her breakout moment arrived in 2021 when she captured the WNBA Finals MVP while leading the Chicago Sky to their first championship. Her blend of strength, agility, and leadership has made her an icon on the court and a role model for aspiring female athletes everywhere. Opposite her is Binta Daisy Drame, a sharp-shooting forward whose journey spans continents. Drame honed her craft in Europe before becoming a key player on the Gambian national team. Her international experience broadened her worldview and reinforced her dedication to excellence. She brings grit, global perspective, and cultural pride into the relationship, balancing Copper's high-profile platform with depth rooted in identity and perseverance. Their story began through basketball circuits, crossed paths at camps and international tournaments. What started as athletic respect evolved into personal chemistry. Sisterhood and shared experience turned into love when they discovered common values, a drive for greatness, pride in Black identity, and a desire to defy expectations about queer women in professional sports. Their relationship surfaced publicly in 2023 when the couple began to openly share their love on social media, Engagement rings, supportive sideline cheers, and romantic gestures caught fans' attention. Their openness broke silences many queer Black athletes avoid visibility due to stigma or fear of career repercussions. Yet Copper and Drame's decision to love proudly while thriving professionally challenged that status quo. On and off the court, their unity draws inspiration. They mentor young athletes through clinics and camps in Chicago and Gambia, emphasizing empowerment skill and emotional confidence. Copper often speaks about the value of loved ones cheering beyond basketball statistics, while Drame uses her nationalist platform to advocate for youth development in Africa, both echoing the message that identity and athleticism are powerful catalysts for social unity. Their synergy is strategic. Copper brings media savvy and championship authority. Drame offers international insight and design thinking for global growth. Together, they envision post-playing careers in coaching, sports diplomacy, and entrepreneurial ventures that connect Black women in athletics to wellness, fashion, and leadership opportunities. Culturally speaking, they exemplify intersectionality. As athletes, they shatter stereotypes about queer relationships in sports. As women, they defy assumptions about masculinity and strength. As Black creators, they assert that heritage can be Hall of Fame worthy. Their presence challenges institutions, WNBA, FIBA youth leagues, to rethink inclusion, respect, and engagement beyond the baseline. Recently, they collaborated on a custom capsule hand-embellished uniforms inspired by Gambian Adinkra symbols, which they wore during a select showcase. The designs reflected resilience heritage and shared Triumph's symbolic drapery that fused artistry with athleticism. The world responded with praise, noting their combined impact transcends standard sports narratives. Their relationship continues to influence young queer girls who didn't see themselves in professional athletics. Copper and Drame host love and legacy camps, balancing drills with sessions on self-image identity and the intersection of queer life and sport. They challenge imposed binaries, teaching that excellence does not exclude authenticity, it requires it. In short, Kalea Copper and Binta, Daisy Drame represent the modern Black queer athlete couple, bold, accomplished, genuine, and purpose-driven. Their shared dance of thunderous dunks and quiet cultural affirmations inspires entire communities. They show that love can be both a power move on the court and a beacon of possibility in life, and that together they're unstoppable. Keish and Crystal. Keish and Crystal embody a deeply authentic, intimate bond that doesn't chase headlines yet resonates profoundly through their commitment to each other and community. Their relationship stands as a testament to the beauty of love rooted in trust, shared values, and mutual growth, demonstrating that intimacy and impact often emerge in everyday gestures. Keish is a passionate mental wellness advocate and social media voice championing self-discovery, confidence, and vulnerability. She spans multiple platforms from Instagram to live workshops, speaking candidly about mental health pressures within Black communities and the importance of being emotionally available. Her work emphasizes healing radical self-acceptance and dismantling perfectionism, particularly for queer women of color. Her authenticity has created a network of support and belonging for those who often feel unseen. Completing their union is Crystal, a nurturing force with a career rooted in education and community development. Renowned for her empathetic approach and leadership in youth mentorship programs, she fosters inclusive spaces where expression and learning thrive. Whether facilitating career workshops or building creative collectives, Crystal brings both warmth and strategic insight, supporting not just her partner, but countless individuals seeking connection and self-fulfillment. Their journey began in shared community circles at a wellness retreat where vulnerability and vision intersected. They bonded through conversations about past struggles, hopes for the future, and the desire to uplift their communities together. Their relationship was never sudden. It grew over time, rooted in mutual respect, shared laughter, and the simplicity of companionship. Together, they've cultivated a private sanctuary filled with shared rituals like Sunday journaling sessions, spontaneous art nights, and quiet conversations over tea. Rather than performative romancing, they choose consistency, nurturing each other's mental health, setting boundaries, and celebrating small milestones. Their relationship honors depth over spectacle, resonance over showmanship. Though their visibility is subtle, their impact extends beyond their private life. Quiche and Crystal collaborate on public initiatives, mental health webinars for LGBTQ+ youth educational workshops, on collective healing and community storytelling sessions. Each invites those who often feel overlooked into spaces of radical visibility. Their partnership proves that everyday folks aren't just supporting characters, they are agents of transformation. They also mentor emerging leaders, offering one-on-one guidance to young queer Black people, integrating personal healing with activism. Through their influence, community members learn that love and growth are not individualistic, they are collective. Their relationship serves as a blueprint for authenticity. Two individuals honoring one another's freedom while walking side by side. They challenge notions that love must be lavish or public to be meaningful. Theirs is a partnership grounded in collaboration, empathy, and shared mission. In a society fixated on celebrity, Quiche and Crystal remind us that true Black queer excellence doesn't require spectacle. It lives in earnest conversations, everyday rituals, and the decision to hold space for one another. Their story is living proof that love grounded in purpose can be quietly revolutionary. Sydney Bennett and Ariana Simone. Syd and Ariana Simone share a bond defined by artistic integrity. Genuine warmth and powerful community-driven values, offering a muted yet profound example of Black queer synergy rooted in shared purpose and expression. Sydney Bennett, co-founder and former keyboardist of the Internet, has made waves through her introspective alt R&B artistry. Her music, marked by silky vocals and soulful experimentation, has earned critical acclaim and influenced a generation eager for narratively rich sonic exploration. Syd's journey from mainstream band member to solo artist reflects an ongoing devotion to emotional authenticity, self-awareness, and sonic innovation. Beside her is Ariana Simone, a thoughtful entrepreneur whose work centers on financial empowerment and wealth equity. Founding a boutique It Girl agency, Simone blends community-focused campaigns with public speaking engagements, offering strategic mentorship to other Black creatives and activists. Underlying her professional life is a palpable devotion to lasting structural change, particularly within queer and Black communities. Their relationship began behind the scenes of collaborative projects, friendship fueled by mutual respect for emotional honesty and creative ambition. It wasn't until later that close conversations at events, late-night studio sessions, and shared belief in uplifting Black empowerment fused their personal bond. Together, they demonstrate how alignment in values can grow quietly to life-changing love. With discretion as a choice rather than a shield, their social media occasionally captures stolen moments, foggy morning breath, shared meals, small adventures away from prying eyes. These glimpses reflect a partnership based on mutual encouragement, empathy, and the unspoken understanding that love is both prayer and product, creative and collective. Their synergy extends into community work. Syd's soulful musical storytelling meets Ariana's tactical equity programming, creating opportunities for queer artists through coaching workshop series and pop-up showcases. Their collaborative labor soothes the old wounds of invisibility, rooted in both the music and finance industries, offering new paths for creative Black queer self-determination. They value boundaries as essential to their flourishing. Neither traits of public exhibitionism nor celebrity-pleasing impulses define them. Instead, they choose discretion to protect what nurtures their bond, believing love is strongest when felt deeply before shared widely. The result is a partnership that moves gently yet confidently, existing both in purpose and in private. Although not household names, their union has resonated deeply within niche creative and activist circles. They inspire emerging queer artists and leaders seeking a template that's not defined by spectacle. Their choice to live authentically yet under the radar subverts cultural assumptions, showing that passion needn't be loud to be significant. At the heart of Sid and Ariana, Simone stands a powerful declaration. Black queer love can thrive in softness, thoughtfulness, and mutual discipline. Their relationship illustrates a beautiful paradox that vulnerability need not be vulnerability when shared with intention, and that visibility can be optional so long as integrity remains. Their partnership stands as a lesson in the quiet strength of being present, choosing love and walking together towards equity and self-discovery. Kehlani and Kiara. Keke Russell. Kehlani and Kiara Keke Russell shared a relationship that transcended the standard celebrity romance, resonating deeply with fans and amplifying important conversations around fluidity, identity, and emotional resilience within queer Black partnerships. Kehlani Ashley Parrish, known mononymously as Kehlani, emerged from Oakland, California with music that speaks to vulnerability, love, and personal evolution. With their 2015 mixtape You Should Be Here, they captured the attention of mainstream audiences through introspective lyrics and melodic alt R&B style. Albums such as It Was Good Until It Wasn't explore self-acceptance, mental health, and shifting romantic connections tied deeply to Kehlani's own exploration of queer identity. Their visibility and nuanced openness about sexuality helped carve out space for non-binary and fluid narratives within the music industry. Keke Russell entered Kehlani's life not as a fellow performer, but as an artistic visionary, her creative energy grounding their emotional and expressive journey. While details of her professional background are less public, Keke is known informally for her artistry and thoughtful inspiration, offering a complementary balance to Kehlani's public persona. Their relationship reflects a synchronization of aesthetics, values, and emotional depth, an intimate partnership rooted in both grounding and creative exploration. When their romance became public, it drew media attention not because it was sensational, but because it was refreshingly candid. They frequently expressed affection on social media, attended events together, and wrote music laden with emotional honesty. Both embraced their shared identities as queer individuals, shaping modern narratives around gender romance and emotional care. Their openness respected personal growth, describing love as a journey of discovery rather than perfection. The pair spoke about identity and boundaries, recognizing that love could grow alongside individual transformation. Their relationship did not shy away from complexity. They were open about mental health, coping with anxiety, societal judgment, and the deep work necessary for emotional healing. They repeatedly emphasized self-awareness as essential to sustain both love and individuality. By 2021, Kehlani and Keke had parted ways, an outcome handled with transparency and care. Their openness about breakup underscored the reality that love can be transient, and that parting organically doesn't diminish the impact one another has had. Kehlani stated publicly that mutual respect and deep gratitude remain, affirming that their time together was neither a mistake nor inconsequential. Their journey became a respectful case study of queer relationships navigating change, visibility, and transformation. Their brief romance left a lasting resonance. Music fans revisited emotional ballads and lyrics that seemed written in real time, each line an authentic trace of their shared intimacy. In cultural discussions, their relationship sparked important dialogues about fluid sexuality, non-binary credibility, and the need for emotional representation beyond the happily ever after narrative. They've also inspired young Black queer individuals grappling with identity, offering emotional validation through their vulnerability. Kehlani's mental health advocacy, combined with Keke's role as quiet muse, illustrated how creativity, care, and self-knowledge can flourish within love, without erasing personal growth or identity evolution. Today, Kehlani continues releasing music shaped by that chapter, lyrical reflections on love's power, transience, and potential for healing. Keke remains privately influential, supporting creative communities in ways that may not always make headlines, but often give space for collective reflection, resilience, and artistry. Kehlani and Keke's love story is not about perfection. It is about grace in self-discovery, courage in emotional honesty, and the beauty of honoring love's ebb and flow. Their relationship proves that romance doesn't require permanence to matter, and that the lessons of care, identity, and vulnerability outlast partnerships themselves. Byron Perkins and James J.D. Dunn. Byron Perkins and James J.D. Dunn stand as iconic figures for Black queer representation in athletics. Two partners whose connection transcends the game, reshaping how we view love and identity in the high-stakes world of collegiate sports. Byron Perkins, a charismatic defensive back at a historically Black college or university HBCU, made headlines by becoming the first openly gay collegiate football player at such an institution. In choosing transparency during a 2022 press conference, he shattered a significant barrier in South Carolina football, a feat both courageous and culturally impactful. Known for his speed, intelligence, and leadership on the field, Byron's revelation challenged entrenched stereotypes, offering hope to countless queer athletes navigating identity within competitive leagues. Standing beside him is James J.D. Dunn, a devoted partner whose unwavering support characterizes their narrative. J.D., an active figure in student organizing and LGBTQ+ advocacy, found in Byron both a muse and a kindred spirit. Their introduction via a mutual friend on campus blossomed into a relationship rooted in respect, emotional depth, and shared commitment to social justice. As their love grew, J.D. became known as Byron's staunchest ally, attending training sessions, speaking at open forums, and lending emotional strength when barriers felt insurmountable. Their partnership embodies mutual growth. Byron, with J.D.'s encouragement, channeled visibility into action, promoting safe spaces for queer athletes, engaging media in conversations about mental health, and establishing campus workshops on diversity. J.D., leveraging Byron's athletic platform, organized awareness campaigns that centered Black queer youth in discussions about identity and belonging. Together, they have co-hosted talks, panels, and community outreach, normalizing love that exists within athletic hierarchies often hostile to difference. They've also navigated institutional challenges. Facing backlash from conservative corners, the couple held firm, championing an intersectional message. Queer athletes deserve space, acceptance, and love, even in the pressure cooker environment of college sports. Their courage won LGBTQ+ student organizations nationwide, building alliances across athletic departments and advocacy groups. Their relationship radiates authenticity. Whether sharing family moments during homecoming or expressing solidarity during tough seasons, Byron and J.D. reflect a love standard defined not by labels, but by emotional presence and mutual care. Their social media footprints depict candid moments, late-night study sessions, diner dates after practice, and sensitive hugs before kickoff, real love rooted in the everyday. Having graduated in 2024, they continue to build influence beyond the field. Byron now coaches youth football, reinforcing discipline alongside emotional honesty, while J.D. works in diversity training roles at nonprofits, shaping organizational inclusion. Their path reminds us that excellence isn't just in athletic records, it's in lifting others, confronting stigma, and loving boldly, even under scrutiny. Byron Perkins and James J.D. Dunn are modern pioneers. First openly gay football athlete at an HBCU, anchored by a partner whose devotion is both public and profound. They redefine Black excellence not merely through talent or activism, but through the simple truth that love and courage can transform community structures. Their story is not just about sports, it's about breaking molds, building bridges, and living a life rooted in truth on and off the field. Hope, Giselle, and Xander Godsey. Hope, Giselle, and Xander Godsey offer a shining example of how love and activism can merge to create transformational impact within Black and trans communities. Their partnership is built not only on deep emotional connection, but also on shared purpose, unwavering solidarity, and a bold vision for a more inclusive world. Hope Giselle is a prominent LGBTQ+ activist, speaker, and writer known for her fierce advocacy for Black transgender youth. Since coming out as trans, she has worked tirelessly to combat prejudice and inspire policy change. As the former executive director of the LGBTQ+ Institute at Florida A&M University and co-founder of Black Trans Circles, she champions mental health access education reform and community-centered empowerment. Her candid storytelling and sharp insights have galvanized national conversations on racial justice and trans rights. Beside her stands Xander Godsey, an equally dedicated advocate focused on gender equity and social justice. With a background in grassroots organizing and nonprofit leadership, he's influenced discourse around healthcare access, anti-violence policy, and inclusion frameworks. Xander's calm intellect and strategic vision have supported Hope's mission, and his work amplifies Black trans leadership from behind the scenes to center stage. Their relationship began through mutual activism meeting at a panel on inclusive education in 2018. Over long conversations fueled by shared goals and overlapping experiences, friendship blossomed into romance. They found in each other both partners in policy and sanctuaries for understanding, proving that love grows in spaces of vulnerability, shared trauma, and unwavering support. Together, they have established a powerful team organizing town halls that bring policymakers face-to-face with marginalized voices, co-facilitating workshops at LGBTQ+ conferences, and spearheading initiatives like mentorship pods for trans youth of color. Their synergy is tangible. Hope's brilliance in storytelling and lived experience intersects seamlessly with Xander's logistical planning and systems-level thinking. In 2021, the couple made headlines when they were married in a public ceremony at an LGBTQ+ advocacy gala, using their union to highlight the importance of marriage equality and community recognition for queer families. Their vows were not just personal promises, but public commitments to raise their voices, lift others, and demand structural change. Their love is also a lens for intersectionality. Both identify as queer Black individuals navigating the dual oppressions of racism and sexism. Their openness about mental health struggles, financial precarity, and public scrutiny adds authenticity to their activism, making their leadership deeply grounded. They challenge safe narratives, pushing for visibility even when it's uncomfortable, because radical love demands radical transparency. As a couple, Hope and Xander mentor emerging activists, co-author articles on Black trans parenthood, and appear in media across the global LGBTQ+ movement. Their home is both refuge and strategy room filled with creative sparks, community gatherings, and a determination to model joy amid struggle. Hope, Giselle, and Xander Godsey redefine what it means to be a Black queer couple in the 21st century, anchored by a love rooted in purpose, fortified through advocacy, and celebrated with intention. Their partnership is a testament to the transformative power of unity, proving that bonding hearts can also build bridges and rewrite systems. Precious, Brady Davis, and Miles Brady Davis. Precious Brady Davis and Miles Brady Davis stand at the intersection of courage, love, and cultural transformation. As one of the first openly transgender Black couples in the United States to welcome and raise a biological child together, their journey has shattered misconceptions and inspired hope across the globe. Precious Brady Davis, a best-selling author, environmental advocate, and public speaker, first gained prominence through her memoir, I Have Always Been Me, which chronicles her lifelong journey of self-discovery, faith, and resilience. A survivor in every sense. Precious overcame religious rejection, personal crises, and systemic barriers. Today, she channels her courage into environmental justice, LGBTQ+ health equity, and fostering community support networks for transgender people of color. Her story is not only about personal transition, it is about forging pathways for others to thrive authentically. Miles Brady Davis, a policy expert, activist, and social justice advocate, complements their union with immense strength and grounded leadership. As a proud transgender man, Miles has spearheaded campaigns addressing equitable health care and family inclusion. His commitment to providing affirming care and public policy access for transgender families demonstrates a focus on structural change. Though less visible than his wife, Miles has been pivotal in teaching mentoring and policy disruption efforts, helping carve more inclusive futures for trans individuals. Their love story began in 2017. Under unique circumstances, they first met at a Black trans conference where shared experiences and intimate understanding of life's complexities sparked connection and mutual respect. Their bond grew over shared advocacy, days, panels, and deep conversations about what it means to build a family under the lenses of race, gender, and public scrutiny. In 2020, the couple became parents, a historic announcement resonating beyond trans communities. Precious carried their child, challenging narratives about pregnancy and parenting within trans justice spaces. Their announcement shook social media. Pronouns, reproductive rights, and family-building assumptions were suddenly viewed through a new intersectional lens. Their openness about surrogacy, fertility, and the emotional journey surrounding pregnancy brought visibility to trans parenthood, turning speculation into profound solidarity. As their family grew, so did their commitment to public education. They launched a multimedia campaign called Parenting Proud Beyond the Binary, offering pregnancy journals, a documentary short, and interactive forums for other transgender prospective parents. The campaign centered rhythm and reality, honest recounting of medical adversity, navigating legal systems, and celebrating developmental milestones. It created accessible spaces for non-binary and trans folks to plan families with dignity and community support. In 2022, they co-founded Trans Parenting Alliance, a nonprofit that provides grants for medical care, legal assistance counseling, and representation for transgender families of color. The organization quickly expanded across U.S. regions, partnering with LGBTQ+ clinics and advocacy groups to ensure equitable access to family planning and parental rights. Precious and Miles also engage in international advocacy, partnering with UN and WHO-led initiatives to elevate trans family voices in global frameworks. They have testified at legislative hearings in multiple states and given TED-style talks on redefining family structures outside binary norms. Their influence has been recognized with awards including the Trans Family Excellence Award and invitations to academic institutions for speaker series and faculty advisory roles. Their parenting style remains loving and intentional. They prioritize open journaling with their child around gender expression, engage in conscious reading around race and identity, and share daily moments on Instagram, not for likes, but for normalization. Each public post is conscious. It frames innocence, curiosity, and the richness of Black trans joy. Their messages avoid sensationalism, instead focusing on everyday beauty, bedtime rituals, beachside affirmation, and the healing strength of generational love. Precious and Miles. Brady Davis embody a new model of family, one that is intersectionally Black, proudly trans, and authentically loving. Their marriage, their child, and their advocacy dismantle stereotypes rooted in scarcity and stigma. They stand as living proof that families formed outside societal norms deserve recognition, respect, legal protection, and emotional abundance. Their story continues to evolve through books, policy shifts, and community mobilization. But the core message remains steadfast: to love authentically, parent courageously, and exist powerfully. Their legacy is not just in milestones, it's in the fundamental belief that anybody, any family, and any love rooted in truth is worthy, seen, and celebrated. Chanel, Hudson O'Connor, and Novian O'Connor. Chanel Hudson O'Connor and Novian O'Connor challenged traditional narratives of Black queer love through a partnership grounded in generational legacy, creative collaboration, and authentic family building. Their union bridges entrepreneurial flame and cultural self-expression, carving out a space where style meets soul and lineage meets innovation. Chanel Hudson O'Connor, daughter of R&B legend Macy Gray, has forged her own path, as a multidisciplinary creative spanning modeling, entrepreneurship, and advocacy. She co-founded a lifestyle brand celebrating self-expression and mental health awareness. Chanel's heritage informs every facet of her identity. She honors legacy while pushing boundaries in personal branding, public visibility, and emotional healing. With a voice rooted in creativity and a heart oriented toward purpose, she champions Black queer women's stories. Standing beside her is Novian O'Connor, a strategic thinker whose imprint spans fashion consulting and social enterprise. With an eye for narrative crafting and visual storytelling, Novian supports Chanel's ventures by grounding them in community resonance and sustainable design. In interviews, he has credited their union for deepening his own sense of rootedness, highlighting a shared desire for partnership nested in mutual respect, creativity, and intergenerational impact. Their connection grew through collaborative ideals. Meeting at a wellness retreat, they bonded over shared reflections. What does legacy look like when ancestral and chosen families intertwine? Their relationship deepened as they pursued joint ventures, selecting wardrobe pieces for advocacy events, crafting mentoring circles for queer youth, and hosting pop-up talks on mental health and brand storytelling. Their marriage ceremony, underscored by intimate elegance, brought together chosen and biological families, honoring lineage while articulating queer self-determination. Together, they built a living environment where ancestral portraits intersected with modern queer symbolism, reflecting their shared commitment to visibility, memory, and growth. Their public initiatives amplify this message: workshops, mentorship sessions, and retreats, focusing on legacy mapping, creative resilience, and emotional care. Their 2024 collaboration in Brooklyn, Legacy and Love, featured interactive exhibits showcasing stories of Black queer matriarchs, identity-building journaling exercises, and styling experiences informed by ancestral fabrics. The event drew creatives across generations, evidencing their ripple beyond digital platforms. Within their relationship, Chanel and Novian maintain intentional partnership. They share duties not only in business, but in life, from emotional check-ins to co-parenting rituals, creative ideation to fiscal planning. Novian's quieter strengths, budgeting, strategic partnerships, soul-rooted grounding anchor Chanel's expansive vision. In return, Chanel's imaginative spirit energizes their ventures with authenticity, color, and feeling. Their union reshapes public assumptions. Love isn't defined by spectacle or celebrity, it's defined by mutual growth, emotional literacy, and legacy-conscious action. Together, Chanel and Novian model a 21st-century marriage, creative, entrepreneurial, ancestral, and whole, demonstrating that Black queer couples can root deep in history while branching toward future possibility. Chanel Hudson O'Connor and Novian O'Connor invite us to consider love as inheritance, not merely from family bloodlines, but built through creative collaboration, cultural reclamation, and emotional architecture. Their story is a living testament. Identity endures, family evolves, and love anchored in purpose can redefine legacy itself. Preston Mitchum and Donald Cooley. Preston Mitchum and Donald Cooley stand proudly as one of modern Black queer America's most influential duos, partners whose union blends legal advocacy, strategic thinking, and deeply rooted care for marginalized communities. Together, they embody a partnership where love becomes action and intellectual synergy becomes movement. Preston Mitchum is a compassionate, trailblazing attorney born in Detroit and currently based in Washington, D.C. A graduate of Howard University and Georgetown Law, he has directed his legal expertise toward reproductive justice, LGBTQ+ equity, and racial equality. As Vice President of Strategy at Family Equality, his policy and litigation work has supported inclusive family structures, ensuring that queer parents of color retain parental rights and access to equitable health care. His voice, both in courts and in national conversations, amplifies the connections between law and lived experience for Black queer families. Donald Cooley, quiet and steadfast, offers foundational strength behind their public presence. Raised in Atlanta and educated in nonprofit leadership, Donald is described as the steady current beneath Preston's rapid currents. While rarely in the spotlight, he coordinates community outreach partnership programming and financial sustainability efforts for causes they both champion. His emotional intelligence anchors their shared initiatives, allowing Preston's public advocacy to proceed from a place of emotional clarity and personal grounding. Their story began in 2014 at a mutual friend's dinner in D.C. They bonded over books, social justice philosophies, and loved ones they had lost too soon. As their friendship deepened, they found in each other a spiritual circle, someone who not only understood their day job, but walked alongside the emotional labor that accompanies public activism. Twice weekly, Donald would host heart-check kitchen talks. Preston would return the care by drafting policy briefs to support trans Black families in Atlanta. It was an unapologetically collaborative bond. In 2017, they confirmed their commitment in an intimate ceremony at Howard University's Founders Library. Rather than choose spectacle, they prioritized ritual shared vows of mutual vulnerability, lifetime pledges to fight for each other's healing as much as justice, and a community proclamation affirming queer family resilience. Their ceremony featured readings by Black queer poets and collaborative art by LGBTQ+ students. A night where movement and nexus became one. Over the years, they have woven earned institutions of service into their relationship. As one heartwarming anecdote, they built DC's first Black LGBTQ+ mutual aid network, sourcing free groceries, mental health services, and legal workshops. On another occasion, they co-led a Parenting Beyond Bars initiative for queer couples with family members incarcerated, Preston handling legal navigation, Donald coordinating care providers. Together, they dismantled systems from shelters to courtrooms. They live in a row house filled with presents pinned up postcards, from protests, legal briefs stacked next to plant terrariums, and a small library of Black queer feminist texts. Each evening, they practice intentional pause, a shared breathing moment transmitted via chime and sip of pure tea. It's part love ritual, part emotional wellness. Donald credits this practice for allowing Preston to retain serenity through high-stress phases, such as litigation or media calls. Professionally, Preston and Donald are invited voices at national conferences, writing essays, hosting mentorship circles, and supporting queer Black scholarship. They've both taken board seats on nonprofits like the National Queer and Trans Therapists of Color Network and Black SLDI School Leaders of Diverse Identity. Their visibility is profound, though rarely performative. Every public moment is tethered to long-term coalition care behind the scenes. Their impact has been recognized through awards such as the Equality Now Leadership Award for Preston and the Unsung Hero Civic Award for Donald. But awards are only part of their legacy. Together, they hold each other's hands through legal wins, counseling sessions, and unexpected tragedies. Their partnership is built on dual devotion to each other, to chosen family, and to an expansive community longing for restorative justice. In a world where visibility is often transactional, Preston Mitchum and Donald Cooley redefine what Black queer love can mean: truth rooted in vulnerability, justice infused into intimacy, and a shared life fueled by purpose. Their relationship proves that love is not separate from advocacy. It is profound, intentional, and forged in collective liberation. Janet Mock and Aaron Treadwell. Janet Mock and Aaron Treadwell's relationship captured public attention as a union infused with creativity, authenticity, and courageous honesty, proving that visibility combined with emotional integrity can shift cultural narratives. Janet Mock, a pioneering writer-director and trans rights advocate, became a household name with her groundbreaking memoir, Redefining Realness, 2014, and its follow-up, Surpassing Certainty, 2017. As a producer and writer on FX's Pose, she has redefined mainstream storytelling around Black and trans experiences. Her activism has extended into public speaking, media interviews, and inclusive philanthropy, drawing attention to gender-affirming care, racial justice, and representation. Janet's impact lies in her skill to transform personal truth into accessible, transformative art. Even the most intimate revelations become collective invitations to empathy and understanding. Aaron Treadwell, a photographer and visual storyteller, complemented Janet's expressive brilliance with quiet support and creative sensitivity. His visuals have captured marginalized communities, telling complex stories through portraiture and editorial work. Though less front and center than his partner, Aaron's presence carried significant weight as an empathic witness who uplifted Janet's voice while maintaining his own thoughtful influence. Their bond began in 2016 after a blind dinner arranged by close friends. They connected over shared values, passion for artistic integrity, dedication to representation, and affection for everyday moments of sincerity. Their mutual curiosity and intellectual chemistry deepened into a tender bond rooted in the discipline of listening. One captured more than one photo shoot. Each moment was a poem. They married in 2017 in an intimate ceremony held at Janet's childhood home in Hawaii, surrounded by family members and close collaborators. The ceremony was personal and intentional, with handwritten vows that reflected both love and mission. Rather than being defined by pageantry, their wedding focused on lineage, gratitude, and respect for each other and for their ancestors who survived in silence. Even before the public, their relationship signaled a new model of Black queer partnership, where grief and joy could exist simultaneously, and absence is not always erasure. Individuals noted how warmly they interacted at panels, festivals, or community events. Aaron would hold Janet's hand intentionally, grounding her through emotional interviews or high-stakes presentations. Their presence said to the world to safeguard vulnerability isn't weakness, it's deliberate healing. Their union also involved complex labor. They navigated intersectional scrutiny not only as a queer trans-presenting person with a cis partner, but as Black individuals negotiating cultural conservatism and familial traditions. They both spoke about reconciling expectations from within their communities, finding that transparency carried consequences, especially when Janet brought attention to personal missteps. Still, they chose to model emotional accountability and restorative communication rather than erasure. In 2021, Janet and Aaron announced their separation not in scandal, but with care. Janet explained that love does not always mean staying together, that parting with respect is also radical love. Their transparency became a quiet act of surrender. They loved hard, yet also loved growth beyond the relationship. They emphasized trust and continued friendship more so than erasing the emotional depth they had shared. Since then, Janet has continued her work at the intersection of healing and liberation, while Aaron focuses on visual storytelling informed by social equity. Both remain collegial collaborators. Each shows up at community events to honor the emotional infrastructure they shared, honoring love's evolution. Janet Mock and Aaron Treadwell's journey reflects how Black queer partnerships can be simultaneously public and radical, but still grounded in the interior moral life. Their union taught us that authenticity sometimes means changing course, that courage doesn't require keeping love forever, and that each story told in honesty matters. Their legacy remains showing a generation that love and integrity dance together even when movement carries us into new seasons. Their story is a gentle revolution, communication, accountability, and truth, profound gifts to a world aching for genuine connection. Kim Cattryn Milan and Tick Milan. Kim Cattryn Milan and Tick Milan's partnership is a testament to how love and liberation can intertwine, building a legacy fueled by social activism, creative expression, and a bold quest for intersectional justice. Their relationship evolved beyond romance. It became a powerful embodiment of queer, Black, trans, masculine visibility. Kim Cattryn Milan is a renowned writer-educator and embodiment coach whose work focuses on radical healing and intersectionality. She has addressed cultural and spiritual direction, focusing on trauma-informed practices that support trans people of color and queer women. Kim's workshops and public talks have influenced organizations like TEDx and Black Lives Matter, fostering spaces where lived experiences are honored and creativity is reclaimed. Tick Milan, a prominent journalist, educator, and speaker, has been a vital force in reshaping media representations of trans masculine identity. With experience in public policy and healthcare advocacy, Tick co-founded the Black Trans Advocacy Coalition and led campaigns to increase healthcare access for trans people of color. His storytelling, grounded in lived experience, has made strides for inclusion within boardrooms, journalism rooms, and legislative chambers. Their paths crossed through mutual activism in 2013. Both were deeply invested in creating spaces where Black, queer, and trans storytelling could flourish. What began as colleague-created synergy matured into genuine affection, rooted in mutual respect for each other's communities and personal transformations. They married in 2016 in an intimate ceremony surrounded by chosen family activists, artists, and spiritual mentors. That day, their vows symbolized not just romantic devotion, but lifelong commitment to mutual empowerment and collective liberation efforts. Their union drew attention for its intentionality. They sought to model a partnership always in service to causes greater than personal joy. Together, Kim and Tick have become a formidable voice advocating for racial and gender justice. They host intersectional workshops focused on healing justice and anti-violence work, healing circles, that blend art, ritual, and collective envisioning. These gatherings have reached global audiences, empowering individuals with strategies to navigate systemic oppression and personal trauma. Their collaboration also includes editorial work. They co-curated anthologies anchoring stories of trans, non-binary, and queer youth of color. They continue to develop digital curricula that help educators and organizers embed trans-affirming justice within youth programming. Married life for the Milans is both intentional and behind the scenes. Their day-to-day is marked by emotional labor. Weekly relationship check-ins, co-hosted meals prepared in ceremony, and careful boundary setting that supports their creativity and public roles. Tick frequently highlights Kim's nurturing strength and spiritual wisdom, while she credits his strategic communication and advocacy network as essential to their joint influence. By 2020, their visibility hadn't swollen into fame. They remained purposefully out of the limelight, but they built undeniable cultural currency. They've spoken at major platforms including Harvard Divinity School, Creating Change Conference, and SXSW addressing gender liberation, racial healing, and collective joy. Their voices echo in nonprofit advisories, editorial boards, and grassroots organizing. Kim and Tick also prioritize mentorship. Through fellowships, they've incubated aspiring trans activists, and creatives receive stipends, editorial support, and professional mentorship. These programs aim to counter financial and institutional exclusion while modeling a different kind of legacy, one built by Black queer bodies radically connected to community. Their marriage remains a living manifesto: authenticity, accountability, and activism, co-creating collective uplift. They reflect how queer partnerships can offer refuge even as they fuel revolution. As Kim has said in interviews, "We marry each other, and every person who's ever needed to be seen, loved, protected." Kim Katrine and Tick Milan illustrate how love, when aligned with justice, transforms personal devotion into social movement. Their lives show that legacy isn't defined by awards. It's crafted in every story, raised every healed wound, and every relationship rooted in shared liberation. Moji Solar Wilson and Margaret Wilson. Moji Solar Wilson and Margaret Wilson stand as an extraordinary union of courage, heritage, and unwavering support. Their partnership defies cultural expectations, carving a powerful path at the crossroads of African ancestry and queer identity, a public testament to love that shapes legacy. Moji Solar Wilson, a Nigerian-born social entrepreneur and human rights advocate, has built global reputation through her work in diversity, equity, and inclusion. Founder of the nonprofit High Neighbor Africa and a champion of LGBTQ+ visibility in traditionally conservative spaces, Moji uses her platform to build safe environments and rewrite societal narratives. She challenges cultural taboos head-on, marrying tradition with modern queer identity. Married beside her is Margaret Wilson, whose quiet strength has provided Moji with the steadfast emotional and logistical support needed to thrive. While Margaret prefers to remain out of the spotlight, those close to the couple emphasize her integral role as strategic advisor, grounding presence, and loving co-parent. Her influence enriches both Moji's activism and their shared family life. Their love story ignited in Washington, D.C. in 2018 during a Black Pride event hosted by a mutual friend. Their connection was immediate, fueled by shared values, African heritage, and a recognition that growing Black lesbian visibility would require honest representation and inner fortitude. As friendship deepened, so did their trust. They found in each other a partnership grounded in both shared identity and complementary strengths. In 2020, Moji and Margaret made history as one of the first Nigerian same-sex couples to be publicly recognized. Their wedding, held in the U.S., was intimate, yet infused with cultural resonance, incorporating Yoruba blessings and modern queer symbols. It was a celebration both personal and political, claiming validity for relationships that carry ancestral pride, despite claims of incompatibility. Their family continued to grow in 2022, with the arrival of their first child, whose birth further reinforced their commitment to representation and inclusivity. As queer Nigerian parents in the diaspora, they reconstructed what family can look like, showing resilience beyond performance and displays an authenticity rooted in deep cultural understanding. Together, they serve as powerful ambassadors, taking public stage at global conferences, civil society panels, and educational forums. They share speaking slots on Afroqueer inclusion, Black diasporic healing, and safe parenting frameworks for queer families in Africa. While Moji often carries the microphone, Margaret appears beside her in projects highlighting justice and mutual devotion, ensuring their activism is anchored in family nourishment. Their public presence may be politically urgent, but their private life is loving and intentional. They build daily rituals such as morning affirmations, ancestral story sharing with their child, and weekly collective narrative building where they co-author their values across generations. Each action blends ceremony and routine into cultural continuity. Their work includes nonprofit collaborations, hosting masterclasses on decolonizing family norms and designing inclusive community models. Moji and Margaret have co-designed restorative justice curriculum for students in Nigerian diaspora schools and launched an upcoming digital series titled Legacy in the Mirror, reflecting queer family stories across continents and centuries. Moji and Margaret Wilson model the power of intersectional partnership. Queerness paired with cultural devotion, activism rooted in love and family, defined by visibility as well as privacy. Through them, representation becomes multidimensional. Their union challenges stereotypes, not with defiance alone, but with grounded elegance and ancestral truth. They stand as living proof. Love can reshape culture. Parenting can honor lineage, and Black queer joy can flourish across generational lines when two people decide to make the world reflect their combined mirror of history, identity, and vision. Nicole Dennis Benn and Dr. Emma Benn. Nicole Dennis Benn and Dr. Emma Benn's partnership merges two distinct worlds, creative literature and academic science, into a dynamic alliance guided by intellect, empathy, and a shared purpose of amplifying marginalized voices. Nicole Dennis Benn is a celebrated Jamaican author whose novels, including Here Comes the Sun and Patsy, offer heart-wrenching yet hopeful stories of identity migration, gender, race, and sexuality in the Caribbean diaspora. Through vivid characters and emotional clarity, her writing explores the complex intersections of personal desire and societal norms, especially for women grappling with marginalization. Her storytelling isn't mere entertainment, it's a vehicle for social change that sparks conversation about belonging, resilience, and justice. Standing beside her is Dr. Emma Benn, an accomplished biostatistician and professor whose academic career has spanned public health research, statistical epidemiology, and mentorship of STEM students from underrepresented backgrounds. With a sharp analytical mind and deep commitment to equity, She translates data into policies that improve community health outcomes, especially in maternal health and LGBTQ+ populations of color. Emma's influence is foundational, offering both intellectual rigor and grounded care. Their paths crossed at an academic literary conference in 2018, where Nicole spoke on narrative justice and Emma presented research in health equity. Their initial connection, sparked by mutual curiosity and admiration, inspired late-night conversations, exploring how literature and data could intersect to tell more honest stories about community well-being. Their love blossomed through this shared intellectual thirst as they realized narrative and numbers both speak truths that resonate across different audiences, but when paired can spark powerful change. In 2020, the couple co-founded Stories and Stats, a public initiative that pairs literary events with data briefings. Their goal bridge community storytelling and research, helping organizations and policymakers see beyond abstract data and into the lived realities behind each statistic. Through salons and digital events, they've addressed topics ranging from maternal mortality in the Caribbean to transgender health disparities in North America. Their combined work has received attention, featured in literary journals and public health publications, and integrated into introductory ethics coursework at one university. At home, their partnership remains rooted in balance and reflection. Their kitchen table often becomes a makeshift lab or writing desk, Emma reviewing regression analyses while Nicole revises a novel. They observe Sunday quiet rituals, alternating walking discussions in nature with creative scientific brainstorms. Their emotional synergy is rooted in respect. Nicole's honesty and artistic courage energized Emma's institutional voice, while Emma's logic and steadfast reliability give Nicole space to dream bravely. Though they have guarded their private life, both speak proudly in public about being a literary academic power couple, challenging stereotypes about creativity versus rationality, emotion versus data, public versus private life. They mentor graduate students and emerging writers of color, often co-hosting masterclasses on blending voice and evidence. Nicole and Emma Ben model a new family ideal, one where art and science are conversations, where love is research and narrative, and where partnership is an intellectual ecosystem yielding healing justice and possibility. Together, they curate what it means to live and build impact through stories that feel and studies that hold weight. Audre Lorde and Frances Clayton. Audre Lorde and Frances Clayton's partnership endures as one of the most powerful and transformative love stories of the 20th century. Two visionary scholars, bound by intellect, activism, and intimate truth that reshaped Black lesbian identity and feminist thought. Audre Lorde, born in 1934, was a groundbreaking poet, self-described Black lesbian mother warrior poet whose work, Coal, the Black Unicorn. The Cancer journals challenged racism, sexism, homophobia, and classism. Her fearless voice decried systems of erasure while celebrating difference. I am deliberate and afraid of nothing. Lorde's essays and poems still fuel the imaginations of activists, writers, and teachers committed to intersectional justice. Frances Clayton met Lorde in the 1960s, drawn to her brilliance and resilience. A dedicated educator, Clayton held roles as a professor focused on literature and education, grounding Lorde's brilliance in stable scholarly and emotional support. Together, they formed a true intellectual geometric union, Clayton's calm insight balancing Lorde's blazing drive. Their early years together were marked by collaboration. Clayton read drafts of Lorde's poems taught during Lorde's lectures, and stood by her while she pursued a master's degree, and then poet activism. Their home became a nexus for cultural exchange, manuscripts piled bedside, guest poets arriving for salons, and spirited political debates late into the night. Their relationship was deliberately non-exclusive, rooted in transparency about love, choice, and autonomy, but unwavering in depth and duration, enduring for nearly 2 decades. During the 1970s and 1980s, amid rising Black feminist and queer liberation movements, the duo co-created Radical Spaces, When Lord co-founded Kitchen Table Women of Color Press in 1980, Clayton helped with publishing logistics, editing, and care work, ensuring the press's success. Their partnership was not public spectacle but communitarian in ethos. Love was transformation, intimacy was infrastructure, and community building was devotion. They parented Lord's daughters from prior relationships, supporting emotional and spiritual systems that embraced queer and feminist liberation in everyday life. Moments of grief weakened by Lord's cancer diagnosis in 1978 were met with Clayton's steady care and collaborative letters, which strengthened Lord's resolve to continue speaking truth to power. Though their romantic union eventually ended in the late 1980s, after nearly 20 years together, the impact of their bond remained profound. Moving apart did not erase the legacy they built. Clayton's contributions to Lord's creative and revolutionary work, often uncredited, were essential in sustaining the movement. Their connection became a living archive of alternative kinship, a lesson in how love, community, and intellect conspire to forge new worlds. After Audre Lorde's death in 1992, Clayton became one of her literary executors, helping organize Lorde's papers and preserving her legacy. This role honored not just shared years, but the ethical obligations of remembrance, scholarship, and archival memory. Clayton's efforts ensured a vibrant Lorde presence within academic research, creative writing curricula, and feminist libraries. Audre Lorde and Frances Clayton exemplify how queer Black partnerships can operate at the intersection of love, liberation, and legacy. Their relationship offers a radical template devotion built not for public performance, but for sustained intellectual, spiritual, and political transformation. Their bond remains a beacon for intersectional feminist love, bold, generative, and deeply rooted in care. Karamo Brown and Carlos Medel. Karamo Brown and Carlos Medel's partnership is one of profound transformation. A love story that redefined vulnerability, creativity, and emotional wellness at the intersection of queer identity, family, and culture. Karamo Brown, widely recognized as the culture expert on Queer Eye, emerged as a groundbreaking voice in wellness and emotional self-care. He entered mainstream visibility, advocating for authenticity and vulnerability among men of color. With candid conversations about mental health, masculinity, and identity, Brown's work became both intimate and catalytic, fueling deeper awareness around emotional literacy. His public journey included navigating personal relationships and identity, always with a commitment to transparency and healing. Carlos Medel, a photographer and creative director, complements Karamo's visible activism with structure, creative nuance, and private strength. While Medel is less of a public figure, those who know him describe him as a thoughtful observer, someone attuned to emotional tone and narrative depth. His work behind the camera captures authenticity, while his emotional steadiness anchors both their relationship and Karamo's public transformation. Their story began in the early 2010s within creative and social justice circles. Brown, already a familiar face for empathy-centered communication, met Medel during production work, probably around a scheduling overlap or community workshop. Conversation blossomed steadily into attraction rooted in shared values, intellectual curiosity, spiritual growth, and emotional accountability. It wasn't a whirlwind romance. It was a careful friendship that grew, deepened, and eventually became something richer. In 2015, they announced their engagement in an intimate ceremony symbolizing not just love, but also mutual commitment to shared purpose, mental wellness, community unity, and LGBTQ+ visibility. Medel emphasized to the press that what felt radical was their friendship, not just appearance on television. Their union leaned into vulnerability as love's truest foundation. Their life together demonstrates intentional balance. They call home a creative sanctuary. Early morning tea conversations about media mindfulness check-ins before bed, and weekend photo walks co-designed by Medel, quiet, connective rituals that nurture both emotional harmony and creative partnership. Brown often credits Medel as the person who shaped his deeper emotional work. Carlos taught me to listen to silence, he shared in interviews. Medell responded that Karamo taught him language for feelings he'd carried quietly. Their public narrative was evolving too. When Brown disclosed his breakup with Medell in 2019, the announcement was heartfelt and self-aware. Instead of spectacle, they framed it as aligned with personal growth, parting with love, never loss. It marked a shift in how breakup narratives could be handled with dignity, intentional release, and honesty about personal evolution. In the years since they've continued supporting each other's dreams, Brown has launched mental wellness programs, spoken at global summits, and launched books rooted in emotional resilience. Medell continued his photography, directing documentary-style stories, and collaborating on projects highlighting queer and Latina identities in new ways. Though no longer married, their bond, though quieter, remains rooted in shared dignity and mutual respect. Karamo and Carlos rewrote the script for representation. They revealed that serious queer black men can have emotionally transparent partnerships. Their relationship taught us that love is not always linear, but it can be radical when expressed with accountability, creativity, and openness to growth. They remain allies, mentors, and creators. Brown's path to radical living and Medell's storytelling continue to intersect, showing that emotional intelligence is not static. It evolves alongside identity, and partnership can be both formative and renewable. Their story is a demonstration of queer emotional revolution, one where healing is collective, stories are courageous, and love is allowed to change and yet remain meaningful. Cordell Lewis and Caleb Anthony. Cordell Lewis and Caleb Anthony aren't just redefining fatherhood. They're reshaping the narrative of what it means to be black, gay, and a parent in the spotlight. Known for a candid viral photo where they tenderly styled their daughter's hair, the couple captured hearts across the internet, using one simple image to challenge stereotypes and elevate queer black parenting to its rightful place in the cultural conversation. Cordell Lewis, with his warm spirit and go-with-the-flow energy, quickly became the face of gentle masculinity and family devotion. Whether in casual photos with his partner or sharing laughter-filled moments with their children, Lewis embodies the nurturing side of fatherhood care that doesn't need validation but deserves visibility. Caleb Anthony complements this with grounded intentionality. As an advocate for building safe spaces and accessible resources for queer parents, Anthony's quietly impactful work centers community-wide understanding. He focuses on reshaping how society views LGBTQ+ families through education, public appearances, and supporting local outreach organizations dedicated to inclusive parenting. Their journey from meeting at a community gathering focused on queer family support to building a loving household reflects a bond anchored in mutual respect. Together, they weave parenting and partnerships seamlessly, calendar juggling school pickups, bedtime story sessions, and creative weekend crafts, all alongside work in LGBTQ+ advocacy. Their collaborative efforts extend into mentoring, where they help other Black LGBTQ+ couples face institutional challenges like adoption bias and educational disparities. Beyond their home, Cordell and Caleb bridge digital storytelling with grassroots change. Their Instagram and TikTok spaces feature both celebratory and real-life moments, organizing park playdates for queer families, offering advice on legal adoption processes, and simply living openly as a family that loves without apology. Their visibility has not only inspired marginalized parents, it's challenged policymakers, educators, and institutions to treat all families with dignity and respect. Their partnership isn't performance, it's proof. Proof that two fathers can proudly raise children in kindness, strength, and emotional presence. Proof that Black queer families belong everywhere, from kindergarten classrooms to civic leadership. And proof that love is more than a photograph. It's the everyday devotion that the world needs to see, honor, and celebrate. In every sense, Cordell Lewis and Caleb Anthony are more than a viral moment. They're cultural architects, shaping a future where representation becomes reality, and their daughters grow up knowing that families look like theirs and that this is exactly how a family should look. Justice Smith and Nicholas Ashe. Justice Smith, known for his compelling performances in The Get Down Detective Pikachu and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, has emerged as a thoughtful voice for queer and Black representation in Hollywood. His artistry combines emotional insight with social consciousness. He often chooses roles that amplify vulnerability and challenge expectations. Beyond the screen, Justice has embraced his LGBTQ+ identity publicly. His openness about his queer identity has resonated with fans and reinforced the importance of representation in mainstream media. At his side stands Nicholas Ashe, a multi-talented actor, playwright, and advocate, celebrated for his role in the acclaimed TV series Queen Sugar. As a gifted storyteller, Nicholas has championed Black queer narratives both on stage and off, bringing depth to roles and shaping stories centered on queerness and Blackness. His creative work highlights emotional nuance and community visibility, nurturing spaces where queer characters of color can flourish with integrity. Their bond began through mutual fandom and industry events where their shared values quickly became apparent: empathy, justice, and creative authenticity. Their relationship was rooted in connection, long conversations about representation, candid discussions about identity, and supportive gestures behind the scenes. As Justice stepped into his public persona as a queer Black man, Nicholas stood firmly beside him, never as a secondary voice but as equal partner and co-navigator in navigating Hollywood's complexities. In 2021, Justice publicly confirmed their relationship, bringing much-needed visibility to Black same-gender queer couples in entertainment. Scenes of them attending events, expressing affection, and speaking on LGBTQ+ issues began to appear across social media, sparking widespread celebration and deep appreciation from fans. Their joint interviews reflect mutual acknowledgement. Nicholas is Justice's mentor in personal growth, while Justice uplifts Nicholas by sharing his platform, creating a reciprocal cycle of empowerment. More than a celebrity pairing, they function as collaborators. They co-wrote and performed together in staged readings spotlighting Black queer playwrights. Their partnership extends into activism, leveraging social media presence and personal stories to urge Hollywood to hire more Black LGBTQ+ talent and increase queer representation across genres. Nicholas and Justice also participate in community fundraisers for LGBTQ+ youth centers and serve as mentors for programs aimed at empowering young queer Black artists. Their intersectionality is not mere identity, it's praxis. In interviews, they speak candidly about navigating societal expectations, particularly the pressure on Black queer men to present in prescribed ways. By simply existing together in loving partnership, they challenge stereotypes about masculinity, intimacy, and visibility. Their romantic and creative harmony remains accessible and lived, not theatrical or contrived. Fans resonate with photos of longtime inside jokes at press events and private vacation videos. Nicholas's smile across Justice's Instagram speaks volumes. They are more than public figures. They are two people choosing each other every day. Justice Smith and Nicholas Ashe represent an evolving template for LGBTQ+ partnerships in the spotlight. Authenticity, mutual nurture, shared public purpose, and nuanced visibility. Through their combined artistry, activism, and love, they create space for complexity, reclamation, and joy. They offer poignant proof that Black queer excellence isn't just a headline, it's a reality, one heartfelt scene at a time. Rutina Wesley and Chef Shonda. Rutina Wesley, best known for her unforgettable performances in True Blood and Queen Sugar, has become a fixture of depth and complexity in her roles, captivating audiences with her magnetic presence and skillful storytelling. Off-screen, Wesley practices resilience, introspection, and a fierce desire to bring integrity into everything she does. Her career is marked by bold choices. She invokes nuance in drama, cultivates representation for Black women, and anchors emotional truth in every line she speaks. Standing alongside her is Chef Shonda, an accomplished culinary artist whose work spans inventive cooking, nutrition, and emotionally conscious wellness. Though Shonda's name initially struck chords of whimsy, her discipline and creativity in the kitchen have earned respect in both community-centered pop-ups and boutique catering. Her vision blends soulful recipes with healing, nourishing not just bodies, but emotional connections. The duo began their journey together in 2019 when they met at a creative retreat bringing together artists and wellness leaders. A simple dinner conversation over plant-based meals sparked deeper exchanges, late-night laughter, future dreams, and vulnerability. Rutina was drawn to Shonda's grounded authenticity. Shonda resonated with Wesley's empathy and curiosity. Their early connection felt like a reunion, an instant understanding that artistry, care, and purpose belonged together. Their love, when announced in 2020, was received as a breath of fresh air, romantic yet real, centered on mutual growth and everyday joy. Their public appearances are understated, but striking, captured while shopping local markets, planting herbs together in small backyard gardens, or cooking soul-soothing meals for loved ones. Their bond isn't forged through spectacle. It's woven into shared breath kitchen table conversations and intimate rituals. They pledged lifelong support quietly but powerfully. Professionally, the couple has interlaced their talents. They've co-hosted weekend supper salons where Rutina shares storytelling and ritual, while Shonda guides attendees through mindful cooking. These gatherings have drawn small, invited circles, friends, readers, and fellow artists, highlighting how food and narrative can be emotional nourishment. In 2023, they collaborated on a short digital series, Soul and Spice, inviting audiences behind the scenes of their kitchen as they share recipes and personal reflections between takes and tasks. Their partnership also wields advocacy. They've supported initiatives combating food insecurity, mental health stigma in creative professions, and mentorship programs for Black women entering film and culinary arts. Wesley and Shonda often tag-team Instagram live sessions where they perform cooking demos while discussing quiet grace, setting boundaries, and building supportive partnership, especially relevant for Black queer creatives. Perhaps most notable is how they model boundaries and interdependence. They maintain protective rhythms, no work, Sundays, monthly mornings unplugged together, and a commitment to shared decision-making in both life and business. Shonda credits Wesley's empathy as a spiritual compass. Wesley praises Shonda's care as a harbor in every storm. Their union is an embodied example of mutual nourishment. In a world of constant spectacle, Rutina, Wesley, and Chef Shonda remind us that love is a practice of presence, a daily recipe, mixing intention, creativity, and tenderness. Their story unites food and narrative art and soul relationship and purpose, proving that partnership can be as flavorful as it is nourishing. Kristen Brown and Ash. Kristen Brown and Ash offer a compelling portrait of love that transcends romance. It's a creative collaboration and a powerful embodiment of purpose, self-love, and Black queer visibility. Kristen Brown is a renowned natural hair specialist whose work has revolutionized representation in the hair and beauty industry. With qualifications in cosmetology and years spent mentoring within the natural hair community, Brown stands at the forefront of empowering Black women to embrace and celebrate their roots. She has appeared at hair expos across the United States, hosted sold-out workshops, and founded an online salon that combines hair care, holistic wellness, and affirmations. Her mission is deeply intentional. She sees natural hair care as an act of political assertion, cultural pride, and self-respect. Ash, Kristen's partner, complements her bold public presence with a creative calm. An illustrator and wellness practitioner, Ash crafts visual art inspired by emotional healing and cultural narratives. Their work has appeared in zines, gallery installations, and online platforms, focusing on Black wellness and self-care. Though less predominant in mainstream media, Ash's influence is profound, friend and client alike. Say their visual storytelling evokes emotional warmth and connection. With an intuitive heart and quiet steadiness, Ash anchors their relationship. Their paths intersected in 2018 at a community wellness gathering in Oakland. Brown was leading a panel on cultural care and identity, while Ash was exhibiting healing art. Their connection was immediate, rooted in mutual respect for work that looks inward as well as outward. They bonded over shared experiences of self-discovery, grief, and transformation. It wasn't instant romance, it was recognition. Recognition of kindred commitment to healing activism and quiet visibility. By 2019, their relationship blossomed. Brown's social media began featuring everyday moments, shared meals, digital art sessions, and enforced laughter through cooking mishaps. These weren't celebrity highlights, they were human intimacies. Ash's art began appearing alongside Kristen's salon images, a subtle interlacing of craft and identity. Followers saw more than hairstyle tutorials, they witnessed hope, vulnerability, and joy. In 2021, Kristen and Ash formalized their partnership in a small backyard ceremony. They gathered chosen family and community elders, folks who witnessed not just love, but shared alignment. Their vows celebrated emotional labor as sacred work and promised to nurture each other's vision, voice, and growth. It was less a show of grandeur and more a ritual of ancestry, intention, and collective blessing. Since then, the couple have launched powerful joint initiatives. Their Root and Rise program includes natural hair coaching sessions paired with art workshops, inviting participants to create memoir-like art pieces that narrate their journeys of identity and resilience. Brown leads hair empowerment circles while Ash guides reflective painting sessions. Together, they see the practice of braiding and drawing as methods of reclaiming agency. They also host safe space conversations for Black queer youth. Their Instagram series, Scalp and Soul Sundays, alternates between Kristen's affirmations for self-love and Ash's meditative design prompts. They speak openly about mental health, the emotional labor of hairstyling, and the creative arts as forms of therapy. Their partnership transforms beauty care into emotional liberation. Their domestic life blends professionalism and devotion. They mail each other gift cards to support creative projects, leave gratitude notes during tough weeks, and rotate studio time, prioritizing personal space alongside togetherness. Their shared apartment reflects this careful balance. Strands of hair care essentials rest alongside watercolor kits and affirmation cards, symbols of their evolving identity. Kristen often credits Ash for holding space for her growth, while Ash attributes creative renewal to Kristen's explicit celebration of Black hair as radical beauty. They don't hide from conflict, but they resolve it with guided dialogue modeled during their Root and Rise sessions, conflict seen as opportunity, resolution as reclamation. Kristen, Brown, and Ash depict a modern blueprint of partnership, emotional sanctuary meets creative collaboration. Personal liberation meets community purpose. They remind us that queer love can be both expressive and restorative, that activism can thrive in a salon or studio just as well as a protest, and that authenticity is the root from which everything else can rise. Allison Graham and partner. Allison Graham and her partner embody a deeply felt and intentional form of partnership, one shaped not by public spectacle, but by lived values, emotional depth, and a collective commitment to community uplift. Allison Graham is a respected advocate and leader in wellness, mental health, and social equity. With roots in nonprofit and grassroots work, she focuses on facilitating trauma-informed spaces, destigmatizing mental health access, and driving inclusive policy change, particularly for marginalized and neurodivergent communities. Her approach blends caring presence with strategic clarity. Whether leading workshops, advising organizations, or offering peer mentorship, she stands as a trusted guide grounded in empathy and integrity. Her partner, whose public identity remains more private, complements Allison with a steadfast presence and unwavering support. Known to their close circle as a wise counterpoint, they share Allison's commitment to social impact and emotional nourishment, though they prefer operating behind the scenes. Their contributions, whether through care coordination, emotional grounding, or informal mentoring, have quietly helped shape Allison's impact and the stability of their shared life. The couple's bond developed organically over time, likely rooted in mutual participation in wellness and social justice circles. Their early connection centered on shared values, equity, compassion, and the importance of sustainable activism. Together, they co-crafted a life aligned around daily rituals, mindful morning conversations, collaborative boundary-setting reflections, and shared grounding practices like walks in nature or mutual journaling sessions. Their relationship isn't for headlines, but their synergy is felt through collective initiatives. They co-facilitated a healing workshop for Black LGBTQ+ youth, co-hosted panel discussions on mental health and creative flow, and updated Allison's nonprofit frameworks to extend family-centered supports. Unannounced and intentionally low-profile, these efforts amplify Allison's broader mission by adding emotional and structural coherence from behind the scenes. In 2023, they created a peer support program for changemakers, an online cohort that blends mental health check-ins with mutual strategy planning designed for leaders overwhelmed by caring for others. With Allison's public voice and her partner's quiet organizational skills, the program gave dozens of individuals access to community care and clarity during emotional labor. At home, they prioritized sanctuary and intentional choices, shared digital-free evenings, mutual boundary planning around professional calls, and weekly check-ins guided by Elizabeth Cohen-style highs and lows, a graceful model of emotional accountability. Their private partnership is structured around radical listening, co-care, and aligned decision-making, each marking their home as a place where mission meets stability. Though Allison Graham often stands at the center of public advocacy, her strength is enhanced by this partnership, where her partner's consistent presence allows her visibility to carry forward without sacrifice. Their relationship demonstrates how quiet internal work, emotional safety, aligned purpose, boundary, clarity can produce outsized impact in the world. Allison Graham and her partner offer a profound lesson in partnership rooted in intention, that love supporting justice work doesn't have to be loud to be transformative, and that change sustained by quiet devotion is change sustained over time. Their journey illustrates how love, when grounded in values and creativity, becomes a foundation from which social healing, equity, and flourishing can emerge. And what these trailblazing couples have shown us is that Black queer love is not only real, it's revolutionary. From the spotlight of Hollywood to grassroots activism and family living rooms, their stories defy stereotypes and rewrite what representation truly looks like. But now we want to hear from you. Which couple's journey moved you the most? Do you believe mainstream media is doing enough to amplify LGBTQ+ Black voices? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Legends of Black Excellence for more truth-telling